evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Channel 10 Sports. Channel 10 Sports presents high school baseball. Tonight, Channel 10 Sports here at Jim Moeller Stadium on the campus of Fairfax High School, where the Northern Region Championship game is just getting underway between West Springfield, the Spartans, and West Potomac, the Wolverines. And up to bat first, the Spartans will be leading off, and a walk straight off the bat for West Springfield. Number 7 for West Springfield is Ross Bly. Kevin Simons now up to bat for the Spartans, and pitching tonight for West Potomac, starting Scott Dobson, number 9.
And Lee, you certainly don't want to start off the game walking the first guy on 4 pitches.
Absolutely.
One of the possibilities whenever somebody has problems throwing strikes is that they're not loose enough. I saw Dobson earlier in the day here. He was warming up pretty well. He may have cooled off a little bit, and he brings the first strike across to Kevin Simons.
And the pitch is away. Oh, and he hits the batter in the head. Oh, not high inside. And he's shaking it. It's not good for West Springfield here. Right off the bat, their second batter, Kevin Simons, not able to get out of the way of that pitch. High and inside, and caught him right in the side of the head there. Not good to drop one of your players who's
Simon's a tough old guy. I think they probably have to build a brick wall between home and first to stop that guy.
That's right.
He tried to get up right away. He was just he was wounded, dizzy, dazed by the ball. There you see a good shot of Mr. Simons.
Kevin Simons.
Kevin Simons
on first base.
Tried to walk down to first base. Looked like he was, coming out of the saloon at about 2 o'clock in the morning. He was going left and right. But I think Kevin has regained consciousness.
And up to bat for West Springfield now is Matt Shannon, their number 1 pitcher, who will not be starting tonight. Jack, tell us a little about Matt Shannon, Jack. What's the story with that?
Matt Shannon is undefeated this year. Unfortunately for a lot of baseball teams in the area, Shannon is going to the University of Richmond on a football scholarship. But these Spartans, so often in high school baseball, teams will have the big number 1 guy. Matt Shannon is the number 1 guy. West Springfield has the 1-2 punch with the guy we'll see tonight, Brendan McCullers. Shannon also an outstanding hitter. We'll get some stats on him a little bit later.
Scott Dobson caught the outside of the plate on the strike on the last pitch. And another one swinging. Matt Shannon, big swing.
Shannon batting .423. Tonight he's playing in center field for the Spartans.
There's a nice shot from our center field camera. And Matt Shannon goes down swinging. Scott Dobson just a little outside there and low. And he got Matt to go for it. Up to bat next for West Springfield, number 9, Ryan Durishan, their second baseman.
Durishan, a heck of a little ball player there. Batting .317 for the Spartans this year, hitting from in the cleanup spot.
Scott Dobson takes the signal from the catcher. The shortstop for West Potomac, Billy Beal, making a move to second, like they might try and pick off number 7 for West Springfield, Ross Bly out there. Looks like he's taking a pretty good lead. And their runners are going. Can't find the pitch. And West Potomac's Jesse Stacy could not find the ball. And a run scores. Ross Bly for West Springfield. The Spartans get the first mark on the board. Jack?
One of the weirdest plays I've ever seen. All Dobson had to do was tell the catcher, J.C. Stacy, where the ball was. Stacy made a nice play on the ball in dirt. He stopped it. It rolled off to his left, just about 3 feet behind Durishan, and Bly just never stopped. He rounded third. Stacy still couldn't find the ball. run for West Springfield.
And a hit to shortstop, who will throw him out at first, not before a run scores. West Springfield on the board with 2 as number 12 for the Spartans, Kevin Simons, brings it in.
So the first 2 guys got on board. One was the base on balls. The second, Simons, was, of course, hitting the head. And here we are, not even out of the first inning yet. West Springfield with a two-run lead. Simons got a nice break on that ball, hit the shortstop, but the play on Belay there was just really strange. Stacy made a nice play, just needed a little help, couldn't find the baseball.
And Dobson drops one a little low, right over the plate. And swinging for the Spartans is number 24, Brendan Fleck.
Lee, on a team like when you're playing West Springfield, they're going to earn enough runs as it is. You certainly don't want to give them any runs, and that's just what happened right there. They were actually given those 2 runs by Dobson and the Wolverines, and tough to come up in the bottom of that first inning when you're down 2-0.
Another pitch. Dobson's getting him to swing here early. I think he's starting to warm up a little bit, Jack. Starting to get comfortable, starting to put the pitches where he wants them.
His ball moves real well. He's got nice movement on the ball, kind of about a 3/4 thrower. Looks like he's throwing a lot of hard stuff here in the first inning. Really haven't seen anything off speed.
And another one. A little on the outside corner and low. And he'll get Brendan Fleck to swing hard. And that retires the sides. Move to the bottom of the first inning with West Springfield Spartans 2, West Potomac 0. And the Spartans take the field in the starting lineup for West Springfield. At pitcher, Brandon McCullers. Catcher, Mike Dent. First base, Jim Dillon. Second base, Ryan Durishan. Third base, Jason Olms. Shortstop, Jeff Stemple. Left field, Ross Bly. Center field, Matt Shannon, we've talked about already. And at right field, Kevin Simons. West Springfield Spartans warming up out there. West Springfield Spartans, Matt Shannon, their number 1 pitcher, undefeated, as Jack said earlier. But starting tonight, because of league rules and the fact that Matt just played on Wednesday in a big win over Marshall High School, Brendan McCullers will be on the mound, number 22 for the West Springfield Spartans. It is the bottom of the first inning. 2 runs for the West Springfield Spartans and none for West Potomac. If you're just now joining us, we've already had Scott Dobson of West Potomac tossed the ball and hit Kevin Simons pretty hard in the head. How will that hit, you think, affect Kevin out in the outfield? If he looks up in those lights like Mr. Hammonds. Remember when Jeffrey got in that catcher slam?
Certainly
he got a little dizzy, you know, when he looked up when that first time he went out in the outfield and he caught a fly ball. He looked up and went, "Oh my goodness, I can't see." So
it's true. It looked like pretty good strategy. When Kevin Simon was hit, I'm not sure really Matt Shannon wanted to hang in there, like dig in the box. And,
sure.
Yeah, he was moving around a little bit. But Dobson did a nice job on the people that he was able not to walk or hit, with keeping the ball down below the belt.
Right.
And keeping the ball on the outside of the plate. In this ballpark, the deepest part of the park is right center field. So I would think if you're going to try to pitch these guys from West Springfield. Springfield scoring runs at a phenomenal rate here in the Northern Region tourney. It's going to have to be low and away, okay, so that they do hit the ball, they hit it to the deepest part of the park, and the center fielder will be able to run it down.
Starting off for West Potomac, the Wolverines leadoff hitter Charles Tellis, number 8, plays third base for the West Potomac Wolverines, bats right, and hits right, and bats right, and throws right. Jack, he'll step in. And also a hit in the shoulder, though. He got his shoulder up to protect his jaw. And he'll take first base, as the umpire would say. Take your base, batter.
Tillis, a 300 hitter, senior third baseman. Charles, a threat to go anytime he gets on first base. So throughout this regional tournament, we've seen some good control by the pitchers. Here we find early in the game, both guys got somebody picked off.
Jesse Stacy stepping in, catcher for West Potomac. A little bit of an error on, well, not really on Jesse's fault. Really, Dobson should have, you think that was an error on the pitcher's part as far as that ball's concerned?
He needs some help. Infield pitcher, third base usually should help him out, but Stacy, when you take that mask, when you look down in the mask, you can't see in front of you. So he took the mask off and tried to find the ball, but to no avail. He got no help.
I think Tillis, the leadoff man for West Potomac, must be quite the speedster. And West Springfield knows something we don't know, Jack, because they're really trying to hold him on first base. And Jesse Stacy looks like he's going to bunt on that last pitch. I think they're frustrating Tillis a little bit. He's wanting a little bit more of a leadoff than they're letting him have.
They're going to throw over there a number of times, Lee, just to take some of the juice out of his legs.
And he's started going right off the bat. Tillis, nice hit up the side, up into the left field by Stacy. And Tillis held on third base by his coach. Ross Bly brings it in. No. Yeah, Ross Bly brings it into Jeff Stemple.
Action early and often here, Lee. It looked like they were playing Stacy to go the other way. Stacy came back and just pulled that double down the line. I think if Tillis would have been a little bit more aggressive, he would have had a score. The cutoff was a little weak. Shortstop had to go out and field it on the hop.
Nice pitch.
Outstanding pitch that time for McCullers. Looks like a straight change.
Yes. A little off speed there, coming right across the top of the plate. Right in the middle. I got to tell you, the number 18 for West Potomac at bat here, Randy Moore. A little outside pitch from Brandon McCullers. Randy Moore, number 18 for West Potomac.
Good-sized guy.
Yes. You were alluding to the fact that West Potomac was like a big football team running out on the field earlier.
Got some big guys out there.
Ooh. Swings early. Another, I think, looked like an off-speed pitch from Brandon McCullers. He's got a good pitch motion. It makes you look like you're getting a fastball there, Jack.
He releases it the same way he releases his fastball, and that thing just drops off the table.
Base, no, nice stop, shortstop. Oh, he overthrows the first baseman. They'll score 2 runs for West Potomac. Jeff Semple made an outstanding stop and then overthrew his man over at first base, Jim Dillon, who tried to jump as high as he could. And they'll score 2 runs. And the score, ball game's tied up 2-2.
Semple made a nice play in the whole backhand, and he just tried to put a little bit too much juice on it. And you saw it, he released it high, and first baseman never had a shot.
Wilner up to bat for West Potomac, batting left-handed. Number 17, Bobby Wilner is lefty all the way. Bats left and throws left. Not too many left-handers in high school baseball, Jack. I've noticed. 4 guys for West Potomac. Over the outstretched hands of the first baseman. Jim Dillon tried to get that, but he was playing a little bit too far in on the infield, I think, Jack. He went to the bounce, and it bounced right over his head.
Nice pitch by McCullers that time, off-speed pitch. Wilner just got his bat on the ball, and the bounce was just right. It bounced over West Springfield first baseman Jim Dillon, and Wilner with kind of a check swing base hit. And McCullers and West Springfield here in a little bit of trouble in the early going.
A little bit of a visit to the mound.
Well, Lee, I can say right off the bat, it's been one of the more interesting first innings I've seen in a long time. We've seen just about everything. We've had errors, we've had hits, we've had hit batsmen.
hit batter. One from each side. Brandon McCullers looks, got a man on first and second. Nice. Pitch a little low, though. Mike Willits at bat for West Potomac. Mike Willits, a big kid, Jack. He's only a junior, and he's seeing 6'5", weighs 240. That's definitely a lineman.
I was going to say, West Potomac's going to have a big squad
Next year,
with
right.
all these returning juniors. They got some big boys out here.
Willits reaches for it. That was ill-advised, Jack. Why would he had a steal on, or?
No, he's just trying to protect the plate up there, Lee. It looked like McCullers was working the outside of the plate. And Willits, they so often tell you, if you ever watch the pros swing at a lot more pitches they wouldn't swing whenever they have 2 strikes on it. And Willits did a nice job just to kind of flick that one away.
Right. Willits waited on that one a little bit long, I think. I think he thought it was going to be a ball, but said, I'm not going to risk it.
Nice little wrinkle that time by McCullers, thrown off the hill. I think what McCullers could do to become a more effective pitcher is to throw that curve maybe a little bit harder, so that you have more of a slider type pitch, and then throw that little wrinkle.
Willits gets a hold of it. It'll be out of play. Caught by Kevin Simons. Well, there you go. Kevin Simons is catching the ball.
So we know that his equilibrium must be intact.
That's right.
Simons had to run a long way for that ball. That was a good at-bat by Willits. He was behind in the count. Didn't like a couple of pitches that McCullers threw up there. Got some aluminum on him and drove the ball into right field, now moving both runners in to scoring position.
Up to bat for West Springfield now, Scott Lucas. Junior batting left, and he also throws left. Shortstop calls for the ball, Jeff Stemple, and makes the catch. 2 outs for the Spartans.
And Lee, that's the last thing that Lucas wanted to do in that situation.
Right.
They wanted to try to get a little air underneath the ball, but certainly a pop-out shortstop. If he would add a little bit deeper, he would add a run in. And you got to credit McCullers for being around the plate, going away from these guys.
Scott Dobson, the pitcher for West Potomac, stepping into the box. He's got a good amount of real estate down on that right side. Strike right over the plate. Nice pitch by McCullers.
I think what you're seeing is what we talked about before. McCullers is going to stay away, stay away, stay away.
Nice off speed, and takes it all the way out to the screen and stretches it into a double. Scott Dobson, 2-run hit, 2-run double. It's down to left center. And right into the screen they have, I didn't see that screen at first, Jack, and I thought, all right, it's over the fence.
Well, it's a short porch here. It's a hitter's park at Fairfax, and they erected that fence.
Pete Gallagher over here, one of the coaches here at Fairfax, taking exception to that, Jack. Taking exception to that.
I think with the gale behind me, I might be able to lose it here, Lee. But Dobson hit the ball right on the nose. McCullers' off-speed pitch hung a little bit up in his shoulders, and Dobson, one of the other, Bruce brothers here at West Potomac, he's about 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Let's see what they got Scott at.
Scott Dobson.
6'2", 200 pounds. Line drive into the net. It was nice
And
play,
a
nice
junior.
relay.
And a junior, Jack. He's one of the guys that's going to be coming back next year and making it real hard on the other teams in the Gunston.
Who asked that anybody retrieving a
West Potomac's Sean McNamara up at bat, the designated hitter for the Wolverines.
Join us later on tonight. We're going to have a couple of coaches from around the area. Our man on the street, Rick Morello, will be down interviewing some high school and college coaches, and I think Rick's going to have something coming up pretty soon here. Also with us in the booth, joining us is shortly is the South Lakes Seahawks baseball coach, Jamie Stalen.
And a hit. And caught. Kevin Simons comes in to catch that, not exactly a pop fly, but an easy play from McNamara. A nice, easy hit by McNamara. Kevin Simons able to come in underneath it and get the third out for West Springfield. The score now, West Springfield 4, West Potomac 2. That's the end of one inning. We're here at the top of the second.
McNamara got a good piece of that ball, and they're working out there on our boy Kevin Simons out in right field. There you see Coach Ron Tugwell of the West Springfield Spartans. Tugwell really putting together what a lot of people have said, you know, a dominant empire here at West Springfield. They're here in the regional final for eight straight consecutive times.
And you mentioned Rick Morello down on the field doing a couple interviews. We got one right now. Rick, what do you got for us? Unfortunately, Rick Morello down on the field, down with an interview, not able to get our audio situation straightened out right now. We'll work on that and have some more reports from Rick Morello.
Gentleman he was trying to interview is Billy Brown, the coach of George Mason University, a longtime Vienna, Virginia resident, and a fine catcher in his own right. Bill doesn't look a day over the day that he left Vienna Babe Ruth there. Still looking quite youthful for a man approaching 40 years old.
Starting lineup, let's give you West Potomac's defensive starting lineup. At catcher, Jesse Stacy, number 7. Scott Dobson, as we've talked about, pitching for West Potomac. Bobby Wilner at first base. Bobby Hook second. Billy Beal at shortstop. Charles Tillis third base. Mike Willits left field. Scott Lucas center field. Randy Moore at right field. And leading off is Brendan McCullers for West Springfield.
McCullers a fine hitter in his own right, batting .275. And McCullers, I believe McCullers' record is 8-1, 9-1 on the year.
Scott Dobson a little dirty out there. He definitely slid into second base earlier. You don't see pitchers in the pros get dirty, do you? Those guys keep their uniforms nice and clean. Little high, little inside. Pitch delivered by Scott Dobson. You think he's said, I didn't mean to hit that first guy, but I'm going to use it to my advantage a little bit here, and pitch he's got a little inside and back him up.
Well, they always say to be effective, you have to be able to pitch inside.
Strike inside, little right on the inside edge of the plate.
And I think we can see some of that tonight. Now, in the first inning, Dobson was a couple of balls got away from him, but he's certainly trying to work the inside outside part of the plate. Dobson has thrown all hard stuff tonight, Lee. He's not shown any off-speed type of pitch, and sooner or later these kids from West Springfield are going to time that.
That's right.
I think he's going to show something, just a little something with a little extra spin on it.
Scott Dobson releases the pitch. Foul tip. Counts 3-2.
When Dobson's right, he's keeping the ball down right around the knees. Got some good speed on the ball, good velocity.
Outside, ball 4. Scott Dobson walks another man.
Now batting the shortstop.
Lee, it's one thing to walk a guy in the first part of the game, and you're now loose. Dobson walking McCullers. High school rules, Lee, a little bit different than you'll see anywhere else. They have a courtesy runner going in for the pitcher.
Okay.
And we'll get that gentleman's number as soon as
our technician here.
I believe that's Ryan Toole. Ryan Toole in running for Brendan McCullers. And I believe the way that it works is that Toole can continue to be the designated runner for McCullers. If they switch designated runners, then Toole is out and cannot come back in.
Just for McCullers, so he can't, like later on, run for anyone else?
No, he is McCullers' substitute.
And it counts 1-1 to West Springfield's Jeff Stemple, shortstop.
And certainly if you're going to come in the ball game as a designated runner, we got to throw over there, get the guy's uniform a little dirty.
That's right.
He must be in the ball game for some reason, probably runs pretty well.
It's not a big man over there, so he must have some speed, right? Is that the way it works?
I think so.
I think so, too. Jack, we know about your speed.
That's right, baby.
Jack running a 3.9 or something like that, 70.
Move very fast in one spot.
And lays down and he's out at first base. The third baseman, number 8 for West Potomac, Charles Tellis, with a nice gun down over to first base.
Almost caught Charles sleeping.
Yes.
There at third base, and Tellis came up with a nice throw, just got Stemple by a half a step. Nice stretch by the big guy over there at first base.
And Tuggle over at third base, probably calling that one. Watching maybe he's talking to Tellis over there, trying to lull him to sleep a little bit.
The guys at the bottom of this West Springfield lineup have been pesty all season. They just bunt, they run well, they make contact with the baseball, they get on base, let the big boys bring them in. You got to throw strikes to these little guys at the bottom because they're just not going to swing at anything.
That's exactly what Scott Dobson did. Strike right off the bat, right across the plate. Hard stuff. He's definitely throwing the hard stuff, Jack. I haven't seen anything but fastballs really out of this young man. There's another one inside. He makes Jason Ohms think about it for a second.
Well, you can use that. You can use it to your advantage, and that's, I think, what Dobson did. He came inside a couple times, hit one guy seriously, but now he's using that inside part of the plate, and the kids may be just a little anxious to come out of that box as opposed to digging in when they saw their teammate Kevin Simons go down.
Ryan Toole, they're still worried about him taking off. Outside pitch. Looked close. Catcher tried to get the umpire to go for it, but nope. Jesse Stacy will walk out and take a talk with Scott Dobson. Bobby Wilner over to join in on the chit-chat. Most of the infielders moving in.
Jason Ohms, senior third baseman for West Springfield. Ohms taking a nice little average into this ball game. And if I could find it, I'd tell you what it is.
2-1 is the count. Fouled off. Nice catch over there by the coach of West Potomac. 1 out.
Ohms batting .324 on the year. And then you see West Potomac in their home blue. There's the coach of West Potomac right there. Mike Henry done an outstanding job bringing these guys back to the regional tournament this year.
Made a nice grab over there, too, that foul ball. And swinging. He goes down swinging. Jason Ohms. That's 2 outs.
Nice pitch that time by Dobson. He's keeping the ball down. That time he went to the inside of the plate against Ohms. And Dobson has his third strikeout.
Like to, he's got a little list here of the umpires. The calling the balls and strikes behind home plate is Gil Medeiros. And Tuggle's making a change in the lineup, bringing in number 15, Mike Masonic for West Springfield. He's a big kid, Jack.
Masonic is. I think he belongs in the West Springfield uniform over there. Masnick, a junior first baseman, taking the 1 for 3 extended average into this ball game, batting .333.
Well, you remember also earlier that Jim Dillon wasn't quite big enough to get up there and catch that. It was an errant throw, but maybe he's trying to get some beef in there. You think?
I think Tugwell might be making a move here early to try to stay with his West Potomac ball club, down 4-2. And, as they say, whenever you get into this end of the tournament, when your big guy, the number one gun, is sitting down, they score a lot of runs. Maybe Tugwell thinks he's got to score now to stay with these guys.
Man alive. I'd see why he might want to put in Mr. Masnick. It's foul, but he rocketed that one straight up.
I don't think Mike's going to get cheated on his swings here. He took a nice big cut on that one. He's got that brand new Louisville slugger.
Now, according to the rules, Jim Dillon, even though Masnick, if that's where Masnick's going to be coming in, can come back into the game later, Jack?
Right, all the starters can re-enter. So Masnick up here to drive in the West Springfield run. And once again, that's Ryan Toole, number 1.
That's right.
In there running for McCullers.
Ryan Toole,
pitcher who picked up a walk.
Ryan Toole, designated hitter for West Springfield, is I think would like to make his mark here for his team. It beats it into the ground. Masnick make a run to first. Not in time. As the Bobby Wilner, first base for West Potomac, makes the play, stops the ball in, makes the tag of the base. That'll retire the sides. The score right now: West Springfield 4, West Springfield 2, West Potomac 4.
When you're supposed to read
I know.
the
count
team that's
prompter
ahead first, yeah. But
I wish they'd just put the names out there and guest and home. I mean, where's Fairfax? They're not here. This is their home.
That's right. It gets a little complicated after a while. That's why it says it takes, intelligent people to play this game of baseball. But anyhow, nice at bat by Masnick that time. Didn't get everything he wanted on the baseball. But Dobson is starting to get into his groove here, Lee. I do think he's going to have to come up with something off speed, and it may be that he does not have, it is that he doesn't have that off-speed pitch that he can rely on, but he's keeping the ball away from these West Springfield hitters. He's using the inside part of the plate to brush him back.
Speaking of off-speed pitches, I think Brandon McCullers has a real good off-speed pitch, and he's been able to get some of these guys to really go for it. Mike Masnick is indeed in at first base for West Springfield. And as Jack alluded to just a minute ago, Jim Dillon still, because he's a starter, will be able to re-enter the game if that's what Mr. Coach Tuggle would like to do later on. May see Masnick come up to bat a couple times. If we get a view of the crowd.
And what a crowd.
Young ladies here to cheer on their friends, I'm sure.
Now we always walk around and say, that girl is in high school?
No, yeah, of course she is.
She looked a lot older than that, but
lovely ladies out here to cheer on their baseball guys.
Nice crowd out here at Fairfax this evening.
And swing and foul, number 3 for West Potomac, Billy Beal. Mike Masnick at first base. Had to repeat that to myself, Jack, just to make sure I had it in my head. McCullers delivers a pitch outside. The rest of the umpires, as I said, home plate, Gil Medeiros. In the outfield, Bill Herbert or Bear, no one's told me, of course, and Jeff King. And behind first base, Rich Wolf. Behind second base, Ron Smith. And third base, umpire Craig Alden. Umpires here for this Northern Region Championship game between the Wolverines of West Potomac and the Spartans of West Springfield. Wolverines in charge here by score 4-2. Nice foul ball line drive. Nice, if they can be foul ball line drives, can be nice. That was a nice one. You straighten that one up and send it down the line, they'll be in good shape.
Wolverines coming out of the Gunston district as champions. Mike Henry has done a real nice job putting this team together. Of course, as just about everybody knows, they rode the arm of Bobby Wilner, left-handed first baseman, all year long. 11-1 is Bobby Wilner's record, I do believe. Wilner going to Georgia Tech on a baseball scholarship.
Nice hit, but it was playable. Left fielder for West Springfield, Ross Bly, with the catch. That's the first out of the inning. In the bottom of the second inning.
Nice at bat by Beal. Hung in there, fouled a couple balls off. McCullers hung that little curve that he throws. And Beal hung right in there. Boy, they're playing, maybe it's just me, but it looks like they're giving the West Potomac kids the left field line.
And the leadoff man, Charles Tillis, bounces one off the dirt. And right to second baseman, Ryan Durishan, who tossed it over to Mike Masnick with the out.
That was a good play by Durishan. It looked a lot easier than it actually was. He got the bad hop on that, and of course, flying down to first base was Tellis.
Very, very fast. He was at first base on a second to first throw. That's some speed, Jack. Almost as fast as you, buddy.
That's right. And Tellis flying down there made the play close, but Durishan got in front of the ball and played it off his body. Got a bad hop, got the in-between hop, but number 9 hung right with the ball.
And Jesse Stacy, catcher for West Potomac. At bat, dipped his shoulder down a little bit, maybe. You know those catchers, they'll take the ball. They'll take a hit to get a base, won't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to dip right in there and then, take one for the team. Stacy, an outstanding hitter, had a double in the first inning.
Nice hit right up the middle for a base hit. Fielded by Matt Shannon out in center field. As you said, Jesse Stacy, nice clean swing. Puts it right where it needs to be, just out of reach of the pitcher, and right up the middle between the shortstop and second baseman.
Stacy batting .340, and Jesse will be back next year to anchor this West Potomac Wolverine squad. Here come the Bowery boys.
Yes. Jesse Stacy going, and that's with 2 outs. Jesse Stacy given the signal to run, and nice hit out center field, very playable for Matt Shannon. He'll catch it. That's 3 outs, and that's the end of the second inning.
1 runner left on base.
With 2 innings gone, West Potomac 4, West Springfield 2. Here at Jim Muller Stadium, home of the Fairfax Rebels, who of course do a fine job of hosting the big games, and doing a fine job tonight. Cokes.
We got everything up here. We got Cokes,
hot dogs.
we got cookies.
And if we don't have something up there, we just tell old Pete Gallagher, and he takes care of it for us.
We got cattle futures.
Okay. And Hillary's here to make sure we invest in the right cattle futures.
Okay.
Scott Dobson has been pitching through 2 innings. Done a admirable job. Started kind of shaky and put a pretty good hurting on Kevin Simons right out of the box.
Right, they haven't hit the ball against Dobson yet.
Yeah.
Dobson showing some good speed. You can see he's a big, strong kid. Trying there to work on something off speed.
New catcher for West Potomac into the game, Jack. Number 21, Dan Payne. He'll be catching for Scott Dobson.
At least in warm-ups, anyhow. Dan,
that's right. Jesse Stacy was on the.
Dan, that's all right. Payne called up from JV. He's a 9th grader. He probably walked out there and said, Scott, if you could do me a favor and don't heat me up between innings, my parents are here. What a thrill, though, it's got to be for a 9th grader to
be able to warm up the pitcher in the championship game.
Exactly,
yeah.
To come through here and get to warm up the pitcher. It looked like West Potomac had about 25 guys dressed for tonight's ball game.
Yeah, they got a good squad over there. When they were throwing the ball around.
Well, you see some of the Channel 10 crew, and you see some of the security there for this evening's ball game.
The fine men in blue from Fairfax City Police Department and other big guys. Pat Dye running around somewhere, who's coordinated this whole Northern Region tournament.
So let's see what we got here. Top half of the third inning. Springfield will go to the top of their order. And they've yet to get a hit off Scott Dobson. However, he has struck out 3 and walked 3.
Jesse Stacy, in case you didn't hear me make that mistake earlier, is indeed catching for West Potomac here in this third inning. Strike thrown right off the bat. A little heat from Dobson. We haven't seen any of that. That's basically all he's been throwing today, Jack, so far. But I think you're right. As soon as West Springfield gets that timing down, unless he changes up a little bit. Actually, I think he does have an off-speed pitch. It's called fast, and then there's super fast. So that's his off-speed.
Dobson started to get loose here, get warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can see the ball's down around the lower part of the knees, lower part of the legs. Always having some good velocity. The ball moves a little bit that he throws. He's not throwing a straight pitch in there, mainly because of his release, the way he releases the ball.
Dobson looks him over. And a bat for West Springfield.
There you go, there you go.
Jesse Stacy knocking that ball down. West Springfield at bat is Ross Bly. Scott Dobson takes a look at the signal. It winds up, delivers a pitch. Strike 3. Caught him looking. Ross Bly didn't think that was a strike, but a little bit of the umpire, I guess, makes the last call. One down for West Potomac. And up to bat next for West Springfield, number 12, Kevin Simons, who took a nice shot to the head earlier in the game when he was up first time. I think he's definitely shaking that one off. Another high inside pitch on Kevin Simons, able to get out of the way of that one. Scott Dobson's going to make Kevin think about it a little bit out there as he steps into the box.
I'm sure Kevin's not digging in right now, getting hit in the head with the ball in the first inning. Up in the booth with us right now from South Lakes High School is the head baseball coach, Jamie Stalin.
How are you, Jamie Stalin?
Good. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you.
Jamie Stalin, in his first year at South Lakes, led the Seahawks to, was it 17-3? Jamie, is that right?
Yeah, 17-4.
17-4, that's right. You did lose the last game. Great Falls District champions, and that came at a school, South Lakes' baseball history really not too spectacular.
Foul ball.
Only won 7 games in the last year. Stalin comes in, came over from Woodson as the assistant coach over there, head coach at South Lakes. What'd you do, Jamie? What magic did you perform with these kids over here at South Lakes to take them from a team that won 7 games in 2 years and now 17 games in 1 year?
Well, I think the number one thing you have to remember is you have to give the credit to the players, because the players, you know, had a lot of talent and came through in the clutch, and they played as hard as they could all year for me, and I couldn't be happier with their production, especially with their attitude.
It's always very easy to coach when you have some stellar players out there, and we saw one of your players here honored before the game. Trevor Haas, third baseman, was named all-regional, I believe, and Trevor, not a big guy at all, little guy.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of heart, and you can't measure heart, so basically he was one of our leaders, but we had a lot of good players in his supporting cast, and we're just happy to see Trevor get such an honor.
Kevin Simons foul tipping away. Jamie, you had a pretty good season. Which of these two teams did you get a chance to play this year?
We actually got a chance to see West Springfield.
How'd y'all do against the Spartans this year?
They beat us, and they have a great team every year, and that's why we want to try to play the top caliber teams such as West Springfield.
Simons, a blooper, drops in. Second baseman for West Potomac, Bobby Hook, Played that one a little slow, I think. Almost didn't get it over to Wilner.
Right, he played it on the hop. It looked like he caught the ball in the air. Jamie, you played West Springfield early in the year, okay, and everybody knew that they're going to have a tough squad. What adjustments did you make? You know, you saw the caliber this team has been in the regionals for 8 consecutive years. Adjustments that you made at that point to say, hey, this is what we got to do to be close to these guys as far if we want to get, you know, to their position.
Well, I think that every baseball game you play, you have to make adjustments. Just like in every at-bat, you have to make an adjustment. You have to adjust to the pitchers, and basically I leave it up to the players to do all the adjustment. I just try to go along and make sure they have fun and everybody gets a chance to play.
You see the replay
of that one. That was a close play at first base, Jack.
It was. Jamie, I'd like to expound on that. The papers throughout Northern Virginia, and I guess the baseball people here, had never seen a program like you put together here in Northern Virginia this year. And one paper called it the Seahawks Shuffle, where you got everybody involved. When the kids came to play, you know, to the ballpark, they came to play. They knew at some point in the ball game you were going to put them in either pinch run, pinch hit, play outfield, whatever. And I would like to know, and I think a lot of the people in Northern Virginia would like to know, where you developed that. And for some of us that didn't, I saw a couple of your games this year, some people who didn't see it, how it worked. I mean, who did you switch? Who did you, you know, first I'll lead into it. I watched 2 games of yours. You started Thomas off on the mound, okay? And Thomas went for 2 or 3 innings and pitched very well. Looked like he was getting stronger, et cetera, et cetera. Then we see Thomas come off the mound and Pinkman would come in, right? Explain that strategy. Explain what you were trying to do. And, you know, I guess it had to work to your advantage. 16 games in a row, 17 games in a row you won.
Basically, I think the most important thing is that the pitchers at a young age keep their arm healthy. And if they keep their arm healthy, they'll be better in the long run. And the less they pitch, the more healthy they'll stay. So the number one reason that they don't pitch 7, 8 innings every time out is so that they can stay healthy and fresh for each game. And the next thing is that I think everybody needs to participate.
Okay.
Scott Dobson pitching has put Matt Shannon on first base with a walk. Matt Shannon will run. Hit and run situation. Nice hit right up the middle. Number 8 for West Springfield.
Jamie, I'd like to find out a little bit more about that. We'll talk between innings. Right now, Lee, we're in the middle of a West Springfield Spartan rally.
2 outs for West Potomac. 2 outs with a man on first and a man on third. Matt Shannon at third base and Sean Huss first base for the Spartans. Sean Huss not starting for West Springfield.
Brandon Fleck.
Brandon Fleck, designated hitter for West Springfield, takes the first pitch, strike. Brandon Fleck bounced it right to West Springfield's first baseman, Bobby Wilner, who makes the play, tags first base, and that'll retire the sides.
For the Spartans in the 3rd inning, no runs, 1 hit.
And Lee, that's a function of just keeping the ball low to the outside part of the plate, right? West Springfield's getting a little bit of meat on it, but the last guy you want to hit to is Wilner. Hopper like that made it look real easy. So this kid Dobson, I think, is getting a little bit stronger. He's moving his pitches around. Now let's go back to Jamie. Now, Jamie, we talked about the pitchers. You would bring in Pinkman, who was your ace. He was the lefty, and you would pitch him for a little bit. Okay, and then I saw you remove Pinkman from the game and bring back, you know, Thomas or put another kid in. And as you mentioned, keeping these kids' arms so they were strong and never got tired. Now, most of the time, the infield was set. Your infield, Troy Allen at first base. Second baseman was Kemmerer. Right, shortstop, help me out here, Jamie.
Trevor Haas.
Trevor Haas, okay. And then your third baseman,
Matt Anderson.
Matt Anderson, okay. Those guys you would keep in, and then you'd be rotating the guys in the outfield. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Reason behind that, getting some, fresh arms out there, fresh legs, getting, kids a chance to play?
Yeah, I think that, we wanted to keep our infield basically intact at all times because it's important to have your infielders used to playing that position, and you don't want to switch infielders around too much, in my opinion, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have to do, Jamie, with, all the infielders are know how each other plays and where they throw the ball? Like, for instance, the first baseman, the guys playing second and third, know where he's, where he's a little weak with his catching. Is that the reason for keeping the infield pretty much intact? Because they all kind of play more as a team than the outfield does?
Definitely, and the other thing you want to remember is that they have a different arm angle when they throw the ball, infielders. And it's hard to take that arm angle and go out to the mound and pitch because you're not using the long arm angle.
We're going to start here at the bottom of the third. Jamie, if you'll hang out with us, keep your headset on, and we're gonna pepper you a little bit about West Springfield and their defensive, a little bit of their tactics. You might be able to help us out with as far as having played them this year.
Jamie, what about this kid McCullers? Are you familiar with what he throws? I know they threw a bunch of guys at you there at West Springfield when you guys played them early in the season.
Well, I'm really close to the McCullers family because I've been teaching elementary PE in the West Springfield neighborhood now for 5 years, and they're just a tremendous family. And McCullers' cousin also played in pros in the major leagues. You never know, he might make it too.
Whoa, Mike Masinick made unbelievable play by the first baseman, the guy who's not supposed to be too agile. He knocked the ball down, got away from him, he picked it up, and off 1 foot, swings it around to McCullers, who makes the out. Nice play by the West Springfield Spartans. Good defensive action out there.
Boy, did you coach or teach any of these other kids out here, Jamie? Are you familiar with their families?
Well, being an elementary physical education teacher and also a professional juggler, basically working a lot of camps in the area, I've been pretty much able to get around all the different ball players, and I really enjoy that, working with them in camps, even though they may be on the opposing team when we're playing the game. It's nice to know that when we get out there, the tradition that we have here in Fairfax County in Northern Virginia is tremendous. You see where Buchanan from Fairfax got drafted in the first round by the Yankees, and as I come out here tonight, I reminisce a lot.
Number 20 for West Potomac, Mike Willits, just right out left center field. Over the fence. He said this was a hitter's park, even though Pete Gallagher took exception, Jack. That Willits, I think, could have hit that out in a non-hitter's park. He walloped that ball.
Well, the key is here at Fairfax, Jamie, is to get the ball high if you're going to hit it, try to hit it deep, and that's exactly what Willits did. Popped the ball up over that screen and just took it just enough. It looked like West Springfield guys had a shot at it. And then you see Willits being congratulated. It looked like he was given a couple of forearm bashes there.
We're going to see Willits hit that one again. Got a replay coming for our crack staff down in the truck. Here it is. Mike Willits steps into the box. Up to bat for West Potomac, number 6, Scott Lucas. Takes the first pitch. Ball.
Lucas's first time up came up with runners in scoring position. Hit the old F6 there, popped out to the infield. Lucas right now, not one of the big guys there on the squad. He's got all the big boys around him like Wilner, Moore, Willits, and Dobson. And then you see Lucas out there, little scrappy guy, center fielder, fast.
Oh, nice hit, knocked down by McCullers. Second baseman with the play. Mike Masnick stretches out. It's 1 down. Second baseman, Ryan Durishin. Nice play, a little bit of a backhand catch. And hums it over to Mike Masnick. And that's 2 down for West Springfield.
Durishin showing his nice range at second base. 2 good plays back-to-back here by Durishin.
Scott Dobson steps up to the plate for West Potomac. And that's a strike. Dobson coming around too far on that one. That was a little bit of a wild pitch out just to the outside. Mike Dent still able to control it a little bit.
Dobson with a nice double into the screen against McCullers his first time up.
McCullers with another one outside and in the dirt. Mike Dent getting over in behind it.
Jamie, in the first couple innings, McCullers was bringing that breaking ball in. What's he doing now that he's bouncing the ball up there?
Well, I think he'll be in good shape. West Springfield is always a great team, and it's always a long game when you play against West Springfield, and he's in good shape, and he's doing a good job. He's a tough competitor. He'll be fine. He's just going to keep challenging the hitters.
Is he releasing the ball? Like, you know, you got to find, I guess, that release point for your fastball may be a little bit different than your curve. It looks like he's, you know, in the first couple of innings he had control over that breaking ball, and now he bounced a couple right in the. If you were coaching right now, what would you go out to McCullers and say?
Oh, I think he's in good shape. He'll be fine. He's just going to keep going after the hitters, and there's no safe score when you play West Springfield. I can think of times when I've coached against West Springfield and had 7, 8 run leads, and they came back and unfortunately for us beat us. I can think of one time here 5 years ago we played them in the regional championship game when I was at Woodson, and we went up 7-0. They came back and beat us 12-7. So basically, you know, you just have to give both teams credit for getting this far to the regional championship game. Anything can happen when you have this caliber of play out here on the field.
Full count to Scott Dobson. 3-2.
12-7, Jamie.
Yeah, that was the score. I remember it. I remember everything about it.
If you'd beaten them, you probably wouldn't have remembered it as much, right, Jamie?
No, I remember pretty much. I try to remember everything because I really love the game, and obviously everybody does. Baseball players are like that. They usually remember everything.
Sure. Sure, that's a walk. Scott Dobson. McCullers is a little bit on the outside, edge of the plate.
Jamie, best hitter that you've seen in your coaching career here at in Northern Virginia?
Oh, I think there's just so many great hitters. You know, we could go on all night. You know, Buchanan got drafted first round today by the New York Yankees. Bill Pulsifer came from here. He's on his way to the big leagues. You got a lot of guys in the minor leagues. You have Doug Newstrom. You have Jason Cook. You have, you know, West Springfield's had numerous great hitters. Gary Butterworth. And, the list goes on and on. Probably be here all night. If we took the great hitters from each school. You definitely have to say that West Springfield has had maybe 7, 8 good hitters, a year. Everybody can put the ball out of the park.
Sean McNamara with a hit right up between the third baseman and shortstop. He advances Scott Dobson, who was already on the way before the pitch was even released from McCullers' hand. And they got a man on first and a man on second with McCullers. Looks like he's struggling just a little bit, Jack.
Well, Jamie pointed out he was throwing the ball a little bit better on the breaking pitch, and now I think McCullers is going more with his fastball, his straight pitch, because he's having a little trouble throwing that off-speed thing across the plate.
Mike Dent knocks it down. Mike Dent with a very accurate gun down to third base, not in time. Scott Dobson had a good lead, and all the runners will advance on the slightly wild pitch by Brandon McCullers. Man on second, man on third. Now, what's this guy's stats here, Jack? Number 3 for West Potomac, Billy Beal. He's a good hitter.
Kind of nice at bat the first time up. Let's see what Mr. Beal's done on the year. 255. Hitter pitches a little bit for West Potomac. Does the shortstop.
Fastball. Strike. Called.
All right, Jamie, we're going to ask you one more question here. We'll let you go. We knew you came up from Woodbridge here watching your sons play baseball, brought the family.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned earlier you're a professional juggler, and the reason that they said that your game was so successful is that you juggled lineups just as well as you do.
That's what he was talking about, Jack.
Well, I think juggling is just another thing that keeps you loose, and the main thing in baseball is to stay loose and realize it's just a game.
How did you learn to juggle? Where did you first learn?
Well, I'm from a circus family, so I pretty much learned it when I was just a little kid.
All right.
Well, that's the end of 3 innings. West Potomac takes the field. You're watching high school baseball on Channel 10 Sports.
You're You're watching Fairfax Cable Access Corporation, Channel 10 in Fairfax, Virginia.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here at Jim Moore Stadium, the host of the Northern Region Championship baseball game here between West Potomac, the Wolverines, and West Springfield, the Spartans. The score, 5-2.
Leading off the top of the fourth inning for the Spartans, pitcher
Brendan McCullers will lead off for West Springfield. West Potomac, a little gathering out there and psych themselves up here for the fourth inning as we get underway.
I think Mike Henry, the coach of West Potomac's got to be pretty happy with the way his ball clubs are forming. Top of the fourth inning, right? They're up by 2 runs, 3 runs.
3 runs, Jack.
Right, indeed. Yes, indeed. Math failing me a little bit.
That's okay.
To the heavily favored West Springfield gang. Okay, Jamie, we'll see you.
Jamie Silton, thanks very much for coming up with us.
Thanks for coming up here. And we appreciate it. Good luck to the Seahawks next year.
Indeed. Mr. McCullers into the box. Bounces it in front of the plate there. Scott Dobson. Still Dobson just kind of either throwing fast or very fast. I haven't seen any medium fast yet. No difference in the pitches. A little inside there. McCullers says he got hit. McCullers claiming he took it on the hip. The umpire not going to give it to him.
Brendan, if you're going to do that, you got to go down in pain. You got to feel like somebody just dislocated your hip. And I'm sure that you get a little bit more sympathy from the ump.
Strike called. McCullers looking. Probably thought it was a little high. Scott Dobson in charge of this one. No, he's not in charge. He's behind. 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that'll walk McCullers. A little wild pitch. Got by Jesse Stacy. And up to bat for West Springfield. Number 5, Jeff Stemple.
Shortstop, Jeff Stemple.
Lee, we're going to see the same thing that happened last time. Brendan McCullers' shadow, Ryan Toole, comes in. And he will be the courtesy runner for McCullers.
Anything like the first time he was in, they're going to keep a good eye on him. As you said, they don't put guys like that in if they run the same speed as the guy who's hitting.
I think it's a good rule. I
Ball
like
on the
it
field?
because it gets the kids involved. Toole knows that when he comes to the ballpark, he's going to be able to play. And Pete Gallagher around here in the press box trying to push popcorn on everybody. No thanks, Mr. Gallagher.
I let him have his own popcorn. Dobson, nice pitch, strike call. Simple, looked like he wanted to go for that one, Jack. He leaned in and held off. And unfortunately, that'll put a strike on the board. Count 0-1.
Stemple laid down a nice bunt
earlier
last time. Tellis charging from third base threw Stemple out by not even a half a step. It was like a half of a toe. It was really close play at first base.
It's one of those ones where the umpire was had both the fist clenched and wasn't sure if he was going to call until the last second there. And you notice Tellis is playing good and short over there on the third base side.
This time a little bit differently. Stemple moved the runner into scoring position, which I think later on Ron Tugwell made the move to put Mazinski in, maybe a little bit more power in the bottom of the lineup, trying to score a run. Masonic.
Yeah.
I think
pass ball. It's tipped.
Yeah, ball hit his bat. You could hear it.
But the runner advances, so I guess not. They're not going to.
If I was Jesse Stacy, I would do my best imitation of Perry Mason right now.
So if the pitch comes in and it hits the batter in the body, not the bat, then it's a pass ball. It's not a foul ball. Is that correct? Looked like it hit him.
No, it hit his. It looked like it hit his bat, and it looked like Stacy knew it hit his bat. I heard a little double tick down there.
I thought I did too, Jack, but they advanced the runner, and So I guess the umpire did not hear the tick of the bat, only off the shoulder there.
That's where you need a little bit of help from your teammates, especially your coach. What he should be doing is saying, hey, the reason he didn't hustle after the ball was fouled.
That's right. Stimple pops out to second base. Bobby Hook underneath it to make the play. That's first out of the inning. A runner does advance. Ryan Toole for West Springfield. Advances, I think, Jack, that was questionable. I really think I heard 2 ticks, too.
Yeah, and I think that's why you saw Stacy not hustle after the baseball. He just kind of jogged back, went about his business, and the runner went to second base. Kind of an awkward play.
Strike. Nice heat in there by Scott Dobson. Strike 1.
Interesting strategy here by West Potomac. At the beginning of the game, I thought Dobson, or maybe just to the bigger boys, he was working the outside part of the plate. Now in the lower part of the lineup, he's coming in tight.
Fouled away. Number 6 for West Springfield, Jason Ohms.
Ohms, the third baseman, and Stemple, the shortstop. Look like distant cousins here.
They sure do. In the dirt. This time Stacy pounces right on the ball. Slams. Nice throw out there to number 8, Charles Tellis at third base for West Potomac. And Charles, I think Ryan Toole and Charles Tellis, it'd be a nice little race, don't you think?
Toole and Tellis.
Toole and Tellis.
That time we saw earlier, West Springfield score a run. That time when the ball was down, there were 5 guys pointing and screaming to Stacy where the pitch was located, where the ball was located. He stopped it. It was underneath him. They're going right down there. Earlier in the ball game, we did not see that. The West Springfield runner, Spartan runner, we'll say, that's Ross Bly, came all the way around to score on a wild pitch.
Dobson in charge here. Count 2-2. And Ryan Toole. Wow. Charles Tellis knocks the ball down in front of him. Nice hit. Knocks the ball down and kind of fakes the throw to first. Knew he wasn't going to get him, Jack, and made it look like he was going to throw, hoping that maybe Toole might come off third base a little bit.
Outstanding play by Tellis. He did not get a good hop to field the ball cleanly. Looked like he was going to, fake the throw. Why throw the ball? The guy had the ball, the base beat, and Tellis was just not going to let, West Springfield score another run.
Right. Got a man on first and third. Dobson looks at both guys. And Masonic, the big man, first baseman who inserted earlier in the third inning.
Ron Tugboat Tugwell.
That's
brought his team, the Spartans, 8 straight years.
He's kind of expected to be here, isn't he?
I'd say so. And he met all the expectations and I think a lot more.
He's in a tough district too, Jack, over in the Northern District. They got some big teams over there.
That's true. It was a battle, and especially when you're talking about, a team like Robinson, whenever they got Sean Camp pitching for him.
That's right.
Camp makes Robinson a very, very difficult team to beat. Woodson, Barry Williams doing a nice job over there with the Woodson Cavaliers. Good ball club as well. Danny Greil, we saw him earlier on Channel 10 with his Lake Braddock Bruins. In fact, the Bruins were eliminated by this West Potomac club, and the man you just saw on the screen, lefty Bobby Wilner.
Dobson into Masonic. Big swing. I felt that breeze up here, Jack. That was a big swing by the big man. Mike Masonic. The count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mike Masonic from Scott Dobson. Man on first and a man on third. Ryan Toole moving around the bases very sprightly, I think is the word. Doing a good job. West Springfield is. Their offense has really been productive so far. Well,
There we saw Ryan Toole tagging on that Mike Masonic fly ball.
fly ball out to Randy Moore, West Potomac, who got the ball in pretty good. Bobby Wilner knew Toole was going to make it. There was no need for any urgency there. West Springfield has been stranding a few players on the base pass here, the first couple innings, first few innings here, and looking to put some in the scorebook. A pitch in the dirt right in front of the plate, and Jesse Stacy knocks it down to not be 4. The runner advances for West Springfield. Stemple moves over.
One of the twins at the bottom of the order there, I believe that's Jason Holmes.
That is Jason Holmes at
Stemple and
second
Holmes.
base. That's right. They look exactly the same. And that number from this distance, Jack. High and inside from Scott Dobson. He'll make Ross Bly think about it.
Bly shaking his head a little bit. I think he's pitching as Mike Henry wants him to throw. He's using the whole plate. He's coming inside on these kids from West Springfield, and naturally with the collision that Simons had his first time up, I don't think they like it.
Nice throw by Jesse Stacy. Good on target. Got it out there. That was a pretty close call.
A couple schools of thought on that, Lee. Got 2 outs right now. They probably like to work on the batter here. Get this leadoff guy out for the 3rd out. Why
risk a pass ball?
Right, risk the throw into center field and give the guy an extra base.
Well, you think their lead 5-3. You think they he might not have done. Might be telling them to cool it if it was a closer game.
I just think they want to try to work on this guy. You know, Bly got hit by or walked the first time, got struck out the next time, and I think Dobson is in his groove right now. He's using that inside part of the plate. He's not letting West Springfield batters get their arms extended. And
he's in charge right now. 2-2 the count, 2-2. And big swing, number 7 for West Springfield. Ross Bly goes down. That's the end of 4. The score: West Potomac 5, West Springfield 3.
Lee, that pitch was what we were talking about before. It was inside. Bly couldn't get out in front of it. Dobson having good pace on that fastball, just tying up the hitters right now. And that was a good out for Dobson to get his 2nd K of the night against Bly, and to leave the runner stranded at second base. There you see the Wolverines stretching it out a little bit. We're going to try to get some more interviews up here. Can send some people up to the booth. We do have the facilities with which to talk to a couple of coaches, and they're all hanging out here tonight.
Yes, they are.
You know, not only do we see Billy Brown. Speaking of Billy Brown, the gentleman we tried to interview earlier in the ball game, our audio, I think it was probably Rick Morello who stomped on the cord and pulled it out. Brown having a tough year over at George Mason University. Had a lot of defensive problems. Brown putting together a real nice program. Has had Mason in the baseball College World Series a couple of years. Had a real strong recruiting year. And I feel like I'm breaking the news here. They just, talking to Billy earlier, they got Sean Camp from Robinson.
They did. George Mason.
At George Mason University.
All right.
They got, let's see, Camp. They got McGuinn, Tom McGinn. We saw him pitch the other night here for 2 of the top pitchers in Northern Virginia going to George Mason next year. And Billy came up with a couple other steals as well. And we'll get back. We'll see if we can get Billy Brown up here in the booth.
Charles Tellis. Tag looks at the ball.
But it's nice to see the kids from Northern Virginia sticking in Northern Virginia, playing ball here in their college years. Family, friends can go see them.
Charles Tellis gets a hold of that one. And Matt Shannon runs in. He dove. I don't know if he had to dive. We made it look good. Made the catch look good there, Jack.
He did, but Shannon was not going to let that ball drop.
That's right.
He had a nice sprint there. Tillis didn't get it all. Shannon ran underneath the ball, and he was going subterranean to catch that ball. He was going to get his glove underneath that ball and just not drop it.
Jesse Stacy. And, you know, the atmosphere is pretty nice. Feels like maybe we're up in the Cubs with Mr. Harry Carey.
You want me to get in trouble, don't you?
McCullers pitching for West Springfield.
That's right. That's right.
Jesse Stacy fouling one back.
Ryan.
Here's Tellis' hit. And Matt Shannon, as you see, I think he could have caught that one without falling.
No way. He was concentrating on that ball.
Sure, I know.
When the ball went in his glove, Shannon could tell you how many stitches were on the ball.
McCullers getting a little bit more accurate, I think. He looked like he struggled there in the earlier. Right up the middle, though. Unfortunately, McCullers gave Jesse Stacy something to hit.
Another gentleman going to George Mason, as we were just informed. Damon Smith, a fine player, fine hitter from the very fine W.T. Woodson Cavalier Baseball Club.
Who's that again, Jack?
Damon Smith.
And his position, what does he play? What's his position?
Damon Smith is an outfielder with W.T. Woodson.
And in the outfield, you're most likely got a pretty good bat, I would guess.
Yeah, you got a good bat, and you got to be able to run a little bit.
Indeed. Well, unless you're playing right field like Fernando Valenzuela or something.
Okay. This guy, Stacy, perfect evening at the plate. 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double.
Fine job put in by the catcher for West Potomac. And stepping in, number 18 for West Potomac, Randy Moore. Randy Moore taking the right field job tonight. McCullers I guess at this age in high school, those catchers don't have to worry about the knees, and they still got some speed going, I guess. Right, Jack?
All those joints, ligaments, tendons aren't worn out yet. But I know what the McCullers is trying to do right now. He's trying to keep Stacy out of scoring position, the meat of the order for West Potomac coming up.
Oh, my. Nice big hit. Oh, and it's dropped into center field. Matt Shannon had an easy play in center field and didn't have both hands up, Jack. He tried to glove that one. Just his glove hand, make a nice little catch, and unfortunately, he dropped the ball, came out of his mitt. I think if he'd had both hands up there, he might have just been able to juggle it back into his mitt.
I think we had a few voters that ball was going to leave the yard.
Yes.
Shannon did a nice job to get up underneath it. That, Lee, is kind of scary. It's reminiscent. Watch it here. Moore gets his arms extended, drives the ball deep. Shannon going back, plants. Look at that. Real nice. Took his eye off the ball right at the last minute and then hit the cutoff man. That's the second baseman, Durishan. But last year, Lake Braddock Bruins were 1 out away from winning the state tournament right here at Fairfax. Fly ball very much the same, maybe not even as deep as that, went up. And the center fielder for Lake Braddock did the same thing, took his eye off the ball.
I think Matt Shannon, very upset with himself right now. I think you'll definitely see him put both hands up there. He thought that was an easy play, and it should have been. But it's the kind of thing usually in high school, they haven't developed that bad habit of putting just the glove up until they get into the pros and trying to be the $1 million man.
And maybe, just maybe, this is one of the last guys that you want to see up for West Potomac right now.
West Potomac's got number 17, Bobby Wilner.
Wilner hitting close to 500. So, I don't know. I don't know what Tugwell's thought process is on this, but Willett's on deck with the gentleman who homered last time at bat. May pitch very closely here to Wilner with first base open.
That's right.
Try to set up some force situation.
But McCullers putting it right in there. That was a strike ball.
That was a nice pitch by McCullers. Ball low and outside about the knees. Painting the black. They're going after Wilner, though. They're going to pitch to him, see what he can do.
And I don't know. They should do that, Jack. Wilner's going to say, I'll show you what I can do with the ball. Put it down the first base line like he almost did just there. Mike Masnick playing nice tight on the first base line.
Wilner 1 for 2. Two interesting hops to the right side to the first baseman.
You notice the batting stance of Wilner, Jack. He's got that front foot way back and just tiptoeing a little bit, and then he steps way inside when he takes the swing, swings through. And that's foul ball. Foul outside, foul to the right.
That was a long foul ball. Yeah, he's got his weight back. He's shifted his weight. He's trying to focus on keeping his weight back. Okay, and then as the ball approaches, he's going to get himself set, kind of set the trigger there, and then pull it with his front foot.
The count is 2-2.
There he goes.
And Wilner fouls one off to the left. Wilner, a good contact hitter. I think his batting .500 is a testament to that. He looks, got to keep that left back elbow up nice and tight. I mean, up and out to try and crack some base hits. I don't think, he's not a power hitter, is he, Jack?
Bobby's hit a couple out this year, but no, he's not an exceptional power hitter. But why? That's how he relaxes. He gets his arms cocked, and then you see Wilner going the other way with the ball.
Down the right field, down the left field line, foul. And well out of play. Not any room for Ross Bly to get over there and make any kind of attempt at a play. The count is full, 3-2 to Wilner. McCullers has a man on second and a man on third.
Good shot of Bobby Wilner. Fastball being clocked up in the high 80s. Good time at bat for Wilner.
And that's not a bad call, actually. I don't think that's terrible for them to have him on first base instead of still up there hitting, Jack.
Well, you figure that West Potomac is behind here by a couple runs, and Wilner could make it 3 more runs in a hurry.
Sure could. Right now, as it stands, Wilner is the go-ahead runner on first base. Score 3-5, and they'll change pitchers. Into pitch for West Springfield, number 21 for the Spartans, Jay Connors. Jay Connors going to warm up a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about Mr. Tuggle, Jack. He's had quite a good run here for quite a few years at West Springfield. How long has he been in the Northern Region?
I believe Ron Tugwell's been there for 15 to 20 years. I couldn't tell you exactly, but Tugwell has put together a fantastic program over there at West Springfield. Go back 20 years ago, a guy named Dave Kesters pitched the West Springfield Spartans into the regionals. Every couple of years, West Springfield have a pretty good ball club. Won the state, I'm trying to think, Jamie Warren and LJ Yankomsky. And I know I butchered his name, but I'm kind of trying to come up with it. Anyhow, we're on the Spartan Ball Club here not too long ago. Took him to the state championship. But about 8 years ago, Tugwell, he just exploded. Lightning struck, and Tugwell's teams have been in the region finals ever since, have been extremely competitive. And as Jamie Salem was saying, a couple guys from the Spartans now playing in the minor leagues, trying to make their way to the big show. Okay.
In the pitch for West Springfield, number 21, and that is Jay Connors. And McCullers, number 22, for West Springfield, is going to move over to first base. And Mike Masnick is out. That's it for the game for Mike Masnick. Since he didn't start, he will he won't be allowed to come back in the game.
That is correct.
Right.
So now, as we see it, Connors will bat in Massanik's spot, and McCullers will stay in the ball game.
Bases loaded, and up to bat for West Potomac, number 20, Mike Willits.
Connors is senior, outfielder, right-handed pitcher, batting up around 300.
First thing Connors does, delivers a strike. Willits just kind of looked at it, wanted to see what Connors was going to bring. Willits is no slouch, Jack. He's a big kid. He might be able to do something good for the Wolverines here.
Both times up tonight, Willits has driven the ball deep. First time up, he flew out to Kevin Simon. Second time up, he hit it over the screen in left center field.
Pass ball, and they'll come in. Mike Jim gets the ball pretty quickly, but not in time. Connors also on top of it. He's there to make the play, unfortunately, to score for West Potomac.
There you see the West Potomac faithful. Nice head first slide. There he is, number 7. Been a menace on the base paths all night long.
Jesse Stacy.
We were always taught the head first slide in high school. Tom Christie back in Madison High School many years ago thought that it was quicker to get down, and if you injured something like your hand or your arm, it healed quicker than if it was a leg injury. So we were always taught to slide head first. And Lee, the way that they taught you, here we see it. Pitch gets behind the catcher.
Fastball, Mike Dent runs back to get it. Connors is there, but Stacy's there faster.
Exactly.
So that ball swirling around underneath those catchers can wreak some havoc, Jack.
Certainly can. You got to be kind of quick. Stacy got a nice jump from third base to score that easily.
Yeah.
But the ball just didn't go that far. It was not 10 feet behind the catcher. Springfield playing their infield in right now, trying to cut down the runs, make sure the lead doesn't get any bigger.
Connors holds the man at third, makes the play at first. Nice look from Connors over to third base. Hold the runner in place, and then he just kind of tosses it over to McCullers. That's 2 outs for the Spartans here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Center fielder, Scott Lucas.
Bottom of the 4th inning, the score 6-3 for West Potomac. And at bat for the West Potomac Wolverines, number 6, Scott Lucas. Connors carrying some heat, Jack. He's pumping the ball in there pretty good and a little high that time. Count is 1-1 with 2 outs.
Yeah, Connors did the perfect thing in that situation. Got the ground back to the pitcher, which is an ideal situation. West Springfield had their infield in, and Connors an outstanding job.
Lucas tipped between innings. Hopefully we can get Tom Verbanek to step over to the coach of the Fairfax Rebels, and we'll be able to talk to him as soon as we get between the 4th and 5th here. Scott Lucas down 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mr. Connors. Scott Lucas, though, good contact. He's fouling off a couple of the last 3 pitches. Scott Lucas has fouled off.
It's interesting, the West Potomac guys here, actually both teams, but these guys from West Potomac don't try to muscle the ball. They try to lay the bat on the ball, put the ball in play, and Lucas is a prime example. Not trying to pull the ball, trying to slap it out over shortstop, maybe go the other way to left field.
Inside, a little low. Brings the count to 2-2. Connors doing a pretty good job here, stepping into the game for McCullers.
Not always an easy situation, especially you come in if you're not properly warmed up. You can throw a few against the screen.
Bounces one in front of the plate.
Looks like he tried to go off speed that time, Lee, and just bounced a little bit.
Mike Dent, good job of getting in front of it, knocking the ball down in front of him. making a good play. Both catchers here have done a good job, not only behind the plate defensively, but up at bat, too.
They've both been very active this evening.
Once again, wild pitch. Dan will get to it. And he's not able to get the ball before the run scores. Number 18, Randy Moore, chugging into home there. Randy Moore, a big kid from West Potomac, one of those football players, I guess.
We were
Looks
talking
like
about how the catchers have to move. That time, Dent didn't move on the pitch. He tried to backhand the ball. It was just off the outside corner of the plate, and he just didn't move his feet and get himself in front of the ball. You got to take that one on a chest protector, and it may be, watch it, how he just kind of backhanded it. He's got to move his feet in that situation, get in front of the ball.
Mike Dent also favoring his back a little bit there. He's getting a little tight.
He may be a little bit tight, yeah, it may be. It's hot enough that he shouldn't be, but he sits down in the crouch. He got to get up on there he goes. He gets up on the top, on the balls of his feet now. He's got to move his feet a little bit more.
Connors over to McCullough.
One guy we saw here in the tournament with Fairfax versus Lake Braddock, and can't say enough about that kid, was Chuck Freeman.
Foul ball.
Coach V, your thoughts on your junior catcher?
Well, he's a sophomore.
Is he sophomore? Wow.
He's caught almost every game for the last 2 years, and he is probably as good a defensive catcher as we have in the Northern Region, I think.
Boy, he was busy that game we saw him against Lake Braddock. He was throwing guys out. I think he had like three assists by like the second inning.
Well, he's got a real strong arm, and he does a great job blocking the ball.
He really did. He was moving back there real well that evening that we saw him play against Lake Braddock. Made a it's not a, I think a lot of the players, especially a catcher, throws from about the same position all the time. He's throwing about, 127 feet to second,
right,
about 90 feet. He stopped the ball. It was back behind the circle, and he picked it up and just turned and threw a strike to the third baseman, and I think the runner for Lake Braddock was out by about 5 feet. Not an easy thing to do.
He's a very talented kid. He's only going to get better. Here's trouble right here again.
Mike Dent not able to get to the ball quickly enough, and also not alert, and allows West Potomac to advance to third base. West Springfield breaking down a little bit here.
Dent looks like he's just having trouble handling Connors, and of course there are two different types of pitchers. You know, the ball's coming differently, but he's not moving. Looks like he's tired, or he may be hurt.
Well, the pitch,
am I breaking bad on him here, Coach V? I mean, it just looks like he's not moving his feet.
Well, he's having trouble a little bit, but I'll tell you, when you play catcher long enough to know, you get somebody that's throwing a little different speed with a little different rotation, and it makes a big difference in how you block the ball. He may be throwing just a tad harder than the last guy was. His ball may be moving just a little bit more, and it's a different adjustment that you have to make when a relief pitcher comes in.
Connors delivers. Strike. Also earlier, Dobson fouled one off right into the mask of Mike Dent. That might have shook him up a little bit, Coach, when they catch those.
You can get your bell rung a little bit, but he definitely had a tough inning.
Tell us about Fairfax, the Rebels this year. Y'all had a pretty good season.
Not bad. We're a very young team, and we ended up winning a district championship, but we kind of stopped right there. We're real happy. We got a lot of kids coming back. We started 1 freshman and 3 sophomores and 4 juniors and a senior. So that was our normal lineup. So we're looking forward to a big year next year, and hopefully we can get in the weight room and get a little bigger and a little stronger and throw the ball a little harder.
West Potomac looks like they got some of their football players. Now, you coach football also here at Fairfax. You get any of your guys from the football team to come over and crack some balls out of the park for you with the baseball? Yeah,
we had 4 kids this year that played football that also played baseball, and we encourage our kids here at Fairfax to play as many sports as they can get in, because I think personally the competition factor is a big plus. When kids are in their off season, if they can be competitive in something, I think it can only make them better when they get into their main sport.
Sure.
Coach, I want to talk about the young man that you started against Lake Braddock, Gabe Contristan.
Right.
Is he a scrappy little guy?
He's tough, and I'll tell you, he does exactly what we want him to do on the mound. He's not going to be overpowering, and what we needed him to do is keep the ball low and away, keep away from hitters, change speeds, use his curveball a little bit. And I was real proud of him. I thought he did a nice job on the mound for us. And, we said Freeman had to work hard behind the plate, but he knows we're going to keep the ball low and away, and he's got to get out there and knock the ball down. But what we're not going to do is throw at the speed we're throwing the ball. We don't want to let somebody get the ball down the middle of the plate,
Sure.
or else it's going to be out of here.
All right, and that's what Contristan was doing. He was throwing the curve away, down and away, and Freeman was in the groove, in sync with him, stopping the ball, keeping it in front of him. And we didn't see that from Dent last inning. He just looked like he had a little bit of trouble picking up the ball when Connors was pitching. There you see Coach Mike Henry. Now, Coach, when do you start, when do you see your family, first of all? We've had you on TV in football. We've had you on TV in baseball. Baseball season just over. When does football start?
Well, my family's here tonight. They are at Fairfax almost all the time. My kids love to be here. Everybody knows them here, and they think they're part of Fairfax baseball and Fairfax football. My son's ready to play right now, as a matter of fact, and he's 3.5. But the summer and the winter are my time off, and I enjoy that time with my family.
Well, you've put together a fine, I think Fairfax traditionally has had a great baseball program from Little League, Babe Ruth, on up into high school, but the program that you guys have put together in football has really been impressive the last few years.
Scott Dobson bounces one into the dirt. Coach Verbanek, we like to know, what do you think West Springfield's struggling here? What do they got to do? Where do you see their weaknesses that Coach Tugwell might need to make some adjustments?
Well, I wish I was playing in this game, so I'm not going to say too much about it. But I think the one thing is I think West Springfield's hurt themselves by swinging at a few bad pitches also. And I think right now, especially getting a runner on base right here, I think that what they need to do is be patient at the plate, maybe even take a strike so that they can make this kid throw as many pitches as possible. And I think that way he might get a little tired, you might find a control go just a little bit. It's going to help him if West Springfield's up swinging away right away. It's really going to help him.
Well, West Springfield not out of this game.
I don't believe so. I think that you always have a chance at this game, and anything can happen here, especially when your number one pitcher is pitched on Wednesday.
Right. All right. Well, Coach Tom Verbanek, the head coach of both all the teams here, I guess, as far as a lot of guys are concerned, I'm sure here at Fairfax. Doing a fine job of hosting this game, Coach Verbanek, with Mr. Dye. Keeping us fed and watered down up here in the booth.
Coach, is it, we talk about high school being a transition type situation. Some years you have a dozen seniors on the squad. This year I looked down the squad, I said you have 3 seniors, and Walson was the only one that played regularly.
Right.
How does that happen?
Well, I think classes in high school seem to run in streaks a little bit also, and sometimes you have a class where there's not as many athletes, where their ideas may not jive with yours exactly, and this past year it just worked out that we've known all along in baseball and football both that this year the senior class was not one that was real strong in football or baseball. So we've relied on younger kids. We have a great junior class athletically, and so next year we'll be senior dominated in both football and baseball, and we're looking forward to that, but I think it runs in cycles.
Well, Coach Verbanek, also, it seems like almost every year you guys have real strong underclass. You always have the starters, some seniors, real strong seniors, but you guys stayed competitive in baseball and football almost every year with Fairfax. There's been no real lulls the last few years. You've done a fine job here.
Well, I appreciate that. We have good kids and good support, and we get a lot of support from our principal and our athletic director both. You can see that just by the condition of the fields and things like that. Sports is important here at Fairfax, and it'd have to be that way for me to be here, I guarantee you that.
That's right.
Coach, I want to throw out at you. I've been trying to wonder what that is on that. Do you know what it is on that? I think it's the left sleeve of the West Springfield players.
No, I don't.
Okay. We'll see if we can get Rick Morella to help us out with that. But it's like initials or something that's on the sleeve of the Spartans.
We'll figure that one out. Coach Urbanik, we're not going to take too much more of your time. Appreciate you coming over here and giving us some insight.
Okay.
We might snag you a little bit later as the game continues on. You're up here overseeing, making sure everything's working right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it very much.
Sure.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
I think it was just amazing. The thought I'm going to leave you with is that there was only 3 guys in the senior class that could play baseball. I'm like, wait a minute, there's got to be more guys in the senior class that can play ball than that. But once again, congratulations on taking those young guys to the Potomac District Championship and hanging in here in the regionals.
Fine season.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Take care. Dobson, another high inside ball, and Jesse Stacy scurries over to get on top of the ball, not before McCullers, I believe, over there on third base. No, number 12 for West Springfield. Number 12 is Kevin Simons, right fielder, who did catch one earlier. It's interesting that he advances now on a high inside pitch that he caught in the ear earlier.
That's right. When you're saying catch one, I'm saying, are you talking about the couple that he's run down in right field, Lee, or the one that he caught on the ear flap at the helmet? Look at this guy out here. I'm telling you, he's done a heck of a job. And, well, Scott, he's got a few muscles out there, doesn't he?
He does.
And he muscled that one right by Brandon Fleck.
Dobson, you know, he really has, Jack, done a tremendous job. He's behind Brennan here. 2 balls and a strike. But Dobson, he really looked real shaky earlier, and he's really come around.
It wasn't that West Springfield was slapping him all over the lot. It's just that he was putting people on, especially in the early part of the inning, the first or second batter, and these guys would come around to score, and it looked like, oh, my gosh, an early West Springfield route. But since that time, he's thrown a lot of strikes, moving the ball, and he's cutting them off at the plate. He's throwing the ball inside.
And he'll walk Brendan Fleck. Fleck will advance to first base on a high pitch. Not anywhere near hittable. And the manager will come out to talk to his pitcher. I don't think they're going to pull him anytime soon. I haven't seen anybody warming up for West Potomac.
No, I don't think he would. Mike Henry, there you see him. You know, most guys in this situation, there you see Coach Henry with his back to us. Most coaches are pretty intense. They're pretty tight. Ron Tugwell, usually a very, and get ready for this word, loquacious individual, very talkative. Around game time, he gets kind of tight, and he's concentrating. Mike Henry, I thought, had the attitude of somebody that was sitting next to you at the bar. I mean, he was very loose. He's a sharp guy. You know, was cutting up before the game, and really having a lot of fun with the whole situation. There you saw him walk out to Scott Dobson, who is just, Scott has just had the Darth Vader stare the entire game, and Henry's got a big smile. I saw him laughing out there trying to loosen Scott
I can picture that, Jack. I can picture you and Harry Carey and Mike Henry sitting at the bar enjoying himself.
Nice pitch that time by Dobson.
In at first base, pinch running, number 17 for West Springfield, Larry Lomax. Larry Lomax looks like he's got some speed on him too, Jack.
Certainly does. The Spartans here, Tugwell using all his players, getting them in the ball game. And let's see if we can
he's running from first, man on third. Got Kevin Simons over on third base. Advance on a wild high inside pitch. And the reason they've got Mr. Lomax in the game is so he can scurry over to second base, as he just did. Ball, Jesse Stacy not able to control that and dropped it down in front of him, and Larry Lomax able to advance. Man on second and third.
Lomax, the junior shortstop, running on the pitch.
2 outs.
Dobson going to throw from the windup here.
Dobson with a heater. Swinging is McCullers. McCullers stays in the game after pitching a fairly good first few innings. And Jack, and McCullers, He's done a good job batting. Obviously, that's why Tugwell wanted to keep him in the lineup. McCullers bounces one right in front of the plate. Scott Dobson walks over, makes the catch, and tosses the ball over to the first baseman, Bobby Willer. Makes the play.
Continuing with the strategy of trying to cut the big guys off. McCullers, the guy, hit a 2-run home run the other night, Wednesday night. There you see Mike Henry passing on a joke to his first baseman, Bobby Wilner. But McCullers was at the plate, could drive in a couple runs, and Dobson kept doing the same thing. He's cutting them off. He's throwing the ball inside, not letting them extend their hands, not letting the West Springfield hitters extend their arms, and hence got the slow ground ball back to the mound. There you see some of the faithful all around. All right.
They're playing Harry Carey's song a little early tonight here. 5th inning, okay. That's the fair. Is that the tradition here? High school 5th inning stretch here. That's Harry Carey for sure too. He's standing right over there. 3 strikes, you're out.
That's the whole ball game. That's right. Sing it one more time. Let me hear ya. Let me hear ya. Okay. Well, Rick Morello is up in the booth. Rick has been trying to track down people. I think we've had audio problems all night long because Ashley, one of our cameramen, stepped on the cord and pulled it out, and Rick Morello trying to line up interviews with people. But, yeah, we'll get old Ashley there. He's standing on top of the dugout, switching the camera around as the West Springfield Spartans take infield practice. Okay, we are going to the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Bottom half of the, you said bottom half of the
bottom half of 5, yeah.
West Potomac 8?
8 runs.
West Springfield 3. All right, we're working together here, Jack.
How about that? Yeah, I like that. All right. And I'm going to try to count up here. Let's see here. We got, shoo-wee, 3 hits for the big guys.
Mr. Simons moving in behind the plate for West Springfield. Kevin Simons. Mike Dent, I think his back was tight. He wasn't feeling real good there behind the plate. And so number 12, Kevin Simons, will slide in and catch a few from Connors. Connors pretty strong here so far, Jack.
Yeah, he certainly was. He came in and I think Coach V hit it on the head. He just has maybe a little bit of trouble handling Connors and throws a little bit differently than McCullers. Maybe moves the ball around a little bit more. McCullers with some pretty good control throughout his stint in the ball game. But I think Dent was hurting. I think you could see he was a little bit stiff. Or maybe he was just tired, but he wasn't moving his feet when he was getting in front of the ball, and they made the switch. So we're going to try to see, let's see, we got Simons moving from right field to behind the plate. And let's see if I can pick up the gentleman in right field. I believe that's Toole in right field.
No, that kid's too big to be Toole. Jack, I believe.
Ryan Toole, looks like, is that number 1? Maybe he's standing on a hill. Got a couple of anthills out in right field. We'll try to get that for you as Connors
take a shot out to right field, and we'll see if we can pick up a number. Connors stepping up. Looks like Sean McNamara.
The designated hitter, Sean McNamara.
Sean McNamara takes the first pitch. A ball.
Sean Mack drove a nice shot out to right field that Kevin Simons ran down. And then McNamara ended up on second base.
Connors slings one in there. 1-1 the count. Well, my understanding is that we have fixed the audio problem, and we'll be talking to Mr. Morello, Rick Morello, who's rambling around trying to find some different coaches and whatnot to talk to. so hopefully we'll get a chance to hear from him a little bit later. Connors winds up, delivers a pitch, and a nice hit by McNamara, and our unnamed player so far out in right field.
That looks like number 1, Ryan Toole. So
That kid's
one
too tall.
just hit it to 1.
Ryan Toole's not that tall.
All right.
Shortstop, Billy Hill.
My guess is Zach Labree's out in right field, Jack, number 3 for West Springfield, but we'll soon enough find out. Try to lay down the bunt, number 3 for West Potomac, Billy Beal.
And stepping up in the booth right now is the head coach for the Langley-Saxon baseball team, Chuck Welsh.
And a pitch, grounder to second base. McCullers takes the toss from number 9, Ryan Dershon.
Coach Chuck
Jack,
Welsh
who you
did
got with you?
some presentations earlier in the night. Coach, Langley-Saxon baseball team this year. Successful year. I know earlier in the year, I believe it was Morrow was your pitcher. You were looking for big things from Morrow, and he came down, hurt his shoulder.
Right, he hurt his shoulder in the final game of the state playoff football game. And he blew out his shoulder, and we were hoping he was going to come back for us because he was an effective pitcher for us as a junior, 6-1, and then was never able to come back. His arm got a little stronger as the year went on, but that's just barely able to throw the ball back in from left field and not be able to pitch for us at all.
So he never did throw the entire year for you?
No, never did.
Big blow to the pitching staff when you're looking for a lot of innings out of that guy, and he couldn't even throw the baseball.
Right, well, we were very lucky.
Tellus with a nice hit to the shortstop, and just in time to throw from Mr. Simple to McCullers. McCullers stretches it out, and that's a nice play by the West Springfield defense. And back to you, Jack. And
Coach Welsh, you said you guys were very lucky.
Yeah, I felt we were lucky. We got some good pitching from a freshman pitcher for us, Billy Hyler, who really stepped up and pitched well. And he ended up 6-2 on the year. And I felt with Robbie's injury, just losing him as a full-time player, more or less, even though he did play for us in left field, he really wasn't the same hitter, the same player. And losing him in that situation really hurt us more than on the mound, only because we were fortunate to have a couple young guys step up. Billy Hyler, the freshman, we had a kid move in from Bethesda Chevy Chase, Adam Calderon, and they both did a real nice job. So we felt that our pitching really carried us through the early part of the season, and then later on we probably could have used him a little more.
well, that's brings us top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back right after this.
Hang in here.
All right.
Well, we're back here at Jim Muller Stadium for Northern Region baseball action. This is the championship game. Jack DeArmond, along with myself, Lee Bailey, and we have in the booth the coach of the Langley Saxons, Coach Chuck Welsh. Scores 8-3, West Potomac. Kind of in charge here, Jack, here in this 6th inning.
This kid Dobson has put together a good ball game. Had a little trouble with his control earlier in the ball game, and has really settled down. Interesting strategy here. I think he's been trying to work. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, Chuck, but I think he's working the inside of the plate. He's not allowing the West Springfield players to extend their arms. And he just, I thought for sure they'd try to pitch the long part of the ballpark, but he cut off McCullers really badly at that last Is that what you're seeing, the same type of thing?
Right. Well, I know talking from Mike, Mike Henry was an assistant for me for 6 years, and so I'm very close to Mike and talked to him before the game, and I got to see Dobson throw over at Robinson against Robinson, and his ball naturally tails in, so anything on the inside of the plate is going to be moving in, and it's going to tie him up inside, so his ball has natural movement on there.
2 strikes in a row right here. He got down 3-0 and 2 strikes. Dobson showing that ability to put the ball where he wants, except for just there, Jack. Just as I said, I jinx him a little bit. He pitches it high and walks Simple. Simple puts himself on first base. And up to bat next for West Springfield is number 6, Jason Holmes.
Well, I was wondering because he kept cutting everybody off. A couple guys just got hits right off of the handle, little bloop shots out to the infield. So his ball actually shoots inside.
Yeah, his ball does move inside, and to be very honest, with the exception of maybe 4 or 5 real good high school pitchers that we've seen, like the Camps or Shannon or anybody like that, I honestly believe that high school pitchers are not throwing for locations. They're trying to throw strikes. And a lot of people call inside, outside, different things like that, but I think they're trying to throw the ball across the plate, and if you have movement on the ball, I mean, that's just an added bonus, and if he does come inside like he has all night, then he is going to tie people up.
Coach, we talked to Coach Urbanek earlier and asked him what his read was on what West Springfield really needs to do, and not to second guess Coach Tudwell, who obviously knows what he's doing out there. What do you think West Springfield really needs to do to get back in this game?
I'm not real sure. Obviously, like most people, I haven't seen West Springfield in this situation too many times. I don't know if they would possibly try to start manufacturing some runs, maybe bunting the ball a little bit, putting the ball in play. I'm not sure how strong West Potomac's defense is, but I feel like in any high school situation, the more you can put the ball in play, the better off you're going to be, especially if it's on the ground, where they have to field it, throw it, and then catch it again. It's a lot different situation than hitting fly balls or things like that. So, he could possibly start trying to manufacture some runs, but you're right. There's nobody that's any better than Tugwell, and to be in a situation where I'm pretty sure this is his 8th regional final in a row, and I was talking to somebody the other night, just earlier in the game here. I don't care if you're talking about pro sports or college or whatever, that's got to be one of the most unbelievable statistics in any sport.
And I couldn't agree with you more, especially when you see the type of competition coming out of that Northern District, Great Falls District, Potomac District, got some good ball clubs, and to do that 8 consecutive years, my money would be the other way. I'd say he couldn't do it.
Bobby Hook gets a play, gets the hit to him. He tosses it over to Billy Beal, makes the tag at second, but not in time to catch number 6, Jason Holmes, who guns it out over first base. Nice stretch, though, by Bobby Wilner.
Pitcher, Jay Connors.
Jay Connors up to bat now for West Springfield. Dobson not even. Jay Connors looks like he's a hitter, Jack. He's got some big, broad shoulders. Good stance in there. Dobson not intimidated in the least. Just hums it right over.
Awesome. Coach, how long have you been over at Langley?
This was my 11th year.
Holy, I can't remember when you first got the job over there. And I think you've done an outstanding job over at Langley. Prior to you getting there, they really never had a competitive baseball squad, and I think year in and year out, these kids have been competitive. You are up there battling with the big guys in the Great Falls District, and it's nice to see teams that come along like that to be competitive when they lost for so many years.
Well, we feel fortunate that we do have a strong youth program over there, and I actually took the team over from Tom Verbanek my first year there. Before he came to Fairfax, he was at Langley 1 year, and we were very blessed with a lot of talent. We had Brian Shabosky, who went to Wake Forest, and Scotty Hamrick that went to Virginia, and that was really the start of it. And we've been, up and down, but like you said, we've been consistent through the years and been competitive. And I appreciate the compliment because, we certainly work hard at it over there, and it's nice to hear that.
Well, I just think it is to be competitive every year with the transitional high school situation. We were talking to Coach B earlier. He had 3 seniors on the team. I mean, what are you going to do? Yet his team won the Potomac District. You look every year, Langley's always in the thick of things with the good players. When you got a senior squad, when you have a young squad.
Right. It's funny, over there at our place, the JV program is always very mediocre, and for one specific reason is because if they have any ball players, they're with us. And even this year where we were senior laden, where we had 6 seniors that started out for us in the year, we ended up having 2 sophomores and a freshman that were full-time players for us. So, and anybody else's team, that's a fairly young team.
Nice pitch, strike. Dobson puts it right across the plate, and he caught Connors looking. Connors knew it was a strike before the umpire even called it. He knew he made a mistake in letting that one go by him.
I think as Coach Welch was saying, that ball looked like it was outside. He's got that little tail on it, and it brought it right back, kind of a backdoor fastball, and just painted the black side of the plate.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of the balls that have come in right on that outside part of the plate, Jack, and we hear some little boos and boo birds up here from the West Springfield fans when the umpire calls a strike. Like that one. Nice strike called. Dobson in charge right now. I think he's really feeling it out there.
The thing that surprises me with West Springfield is they're a predominantly fastball-hitting team, and I don't know how many curveballs you can have that Dobson has thrown tonight. The ball must be moving a lot for them not to be hitting them hard.
It hasn't looked like he's been throwing too much anything but really a lot of heat tonight. He hasn't, like you said, it moves naturally, I guess, because I haven't seen him like working it to break or anything. It just maybe they can't control it. Just a natural pitch of his.
Right, the ball has to have some movement on it because, like I said, West Springfield, I know the way Ron teaches is that they want to take curveballs until they're deep in the count, and usually they're going to hit fastballs hard. So obviously, tribute to Dobson, that the ball must be moving for him to have West Springfield cuffed like this.
Now, you think maybe he's like throwing now he's got some speed on that, Coach. I really haven't seen it. His release, maybe it's his release is kind of high, and the way the ball comes right down across the plate, the outside's kind of elusive for the batter to get his bat on.
It's rolling out of his hand a little bit. You can see the way he's releasing the ball. It is rolling on the backside, so it's more like a screwball than a slider, so it is riding in on him. I've been watching the game, and I don't think he's thrown but maybe 1 or 2 curveballs.
Yeah.
The other thing that's effective, too, in high school, and I'm sure that he's not doing this on purpose. I know he has a little bit of reputation to bring the ball inside on people, and I'm sure it's not on purpose. It's more of a control situation. But I know that he hit that one player early in the game right in the head. I know over at a game against Jefferson, he hit 5 or 6 players. Actually was the umpires had to talk to him, and I've talked to Mike since then, and he certainly wasn't doing it on purpose. But I mean, we've had effective pitchers that, for one reason, is that if you aren't able to start digging in at the plate, that's a whole other situation when you're up there and you have that fear factor working for you.
You're not going to get a lot of meat on the ball. Let's go back to the Saxons this year. Okay, you're coming into the season, and you know what Morrow's hurt with the injury in football. You go down to Florida. You went to Florida, is that correct,
Right,
Coach?
first time we went to Florida, went to Cocoa Beach, Florida for spring break.
And here you are saying, here's our 20 guys out here. Who can I find to pitch? And you pick a freshman. And that's kind of ballsy. I mean, hey, what are we going to do? I got a freshman up here, and he's going to be hitting against guys that are, seniors, 4 years older than 3 years older than he is.
Well, one thing for us is that we are always fortunate to have real good defense, and if we have somebody that can throw strikes and let them put the ball in play, that our defense is real strong. We have an excellent shortstop, Luis Geraldo, who's an all-district player as a freshman and a sophomore. It's the first time I've ever seen a freshman get picked at the shortstop position. And he's the nucleus of our infield, and we play real good defense. So he's able to throw his fastball over the plate, his curveball over the plate, even though neither one are overpowering pitches. And we do not have a lot of strikeouts. So, you know, our whole thing is get them to put the ball in play and try to keep the ball down so they're hitting ground balls and play good defense behind them. So, you know, we went down to Florida. We had about 5 or 6 throwers, and we just had to make a decision.
Coach, one of the things over at Langley, too, you don't have a whole lot of big crop of players to choose from. How many guys usually come out for the ball club?
With JV and varsity combined this year, we had about 38, maybe 40 at the most.
Wow, that's not very many. And y'all fielded a pretty good team. That's not a whole lot to select from.
Right. We're at a little bit of disadvantage with that. You know, that'll even up some next year when we go to the new district format with the new Liberty district. You know, we lose 3 teams, but you know, the 3 teams that are coming in are probably as strong. So it's not like the district's weakening by any means. You know, it's just the kids that we have. The kids that we have are very hard workers and very dedicated to the sport. So even though we don't have a lot to choose from, they still are good baseball players because they're willing to work hard at it.
Right. Connors, looks like Jack is keeping the ball down and away from West Potomac, kind of like Dobson's been doing all night for West Potomac. And
the
we've
ball's
seen
moving a little bit. They're, you know, tailing off a tad. And Stacy, you see him over there, man, he looked like he could bite a bullet. He was mad. Stacy hitting the ball 3 for 4 tonight. Mike, they're going to get you, Jesse, they're going to get you out every once in a while here.
That's right. But he hit one grounded right to Ryan Durishan, who made a play over to Brendan McCullough. And then the next batter up to bat was Moore, who hit it right down the line to McCullough, who made the play himself. And that brings us to 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Up to bat for West Potomac right now is Bobby Wilner, who had the bases loaded. No, he had man on second and man on third earlier in the 4th inning. Looked like he might be able to do something. Well, it was just walk. They walked him into first. Loaded the bases up. West Potomac's done a fine job tonight, Jack. Wilner, though, ahead of the pitcher. Connors down with the count of 3-0. So Wilner looked for a strike here. Won't get it. Wilner advances to first. Like they say, walks as good as a hit.
Coach Welsh, you guys, I think it was the field, I saw some of these fields this year, had some type of compound in the infield. Was it your field, or it might have been Woodson's?
Woodson.
No, it was Woodson. I think
okay.
Woodson was one of the first to put that. It's called stabilizer, and they put it in the infield dirt to help with a couple different things. Erosion, it won't do that. I think that it drags out real nice.
So, but part of being a baseball coach is you got to be kind of a lawn maintenance type guy as well. I'd like to have $1 for every hour you spent on that field over there at Langley High School.
Well, I definitely spend more time working on the field than we do at practice.
Well,
there's no question.
That's the problem with high school, isn't it, Coach? That's one of your jobs. People used to say, Bob Menifee, whenever the team wasn't doing too well, at least the field was looking good.
Exactly. You can always fall back on that. We do have a beautiful facility over there, and the one thing we do have different than that might have caught your eye is that we have grass baselines.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so that is a little bit different. We saw that down at a playoff game down at LSU. It's the first time I saw it, and then I started seeing other college fields. And we're a type of team that likes to manufacture runs. We run a whole lot and do a lot of different things with the short game. So it plays to our advantage by having grass baselines. Anything that's bunted down the line is going to stay fair. It just doesn't roll foul. The grass hugs it and stops. So it does play to advantage for us.
Sure. I knew I saw something. It was something about the Langley field. It was either that new compound, but you have grass baselines.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. We really enjoy it. And plus, it cuts down on maintenance a little bit. And, we don't have to worry about raking the lines because that's always a problem. We're trying to keep those flat. And it's just, I mean, basically you cut it and you line it, and it's just an easier situation for us maintenance-wise.
Sure, it doesn't, I mean, my automatically thinking is just it doesn't roll off the lip of the grass like it would here and then immediately roll foul.
No, because when we put the grass in there, we went ahead and flattened it out so that there is no lip. And that's also a nice situation you don't have to deal with, that lip that's constantly on the infield, except for the better fields around, like Fairfax here, you don't see a lip. But a lot of times, if you're not paying attention to the way that you're raking it and that kind of stuff, then you do actually get a lip. But when we put the grass baselines in, we cut them pretty wide and flattened everything out, and it's very flat in that area.
Bobby Wilner advances, steals from second. Well, doesn't steal, a pass ball. Gets over to heads on his way over to third. Nice play by Kevin Simons. Real close play at third base. A hopper plays it first.
Nice play.
And McCullers will catch it for the third out. Here at the end of the 6th inning. The score, West Potomac 8. West Springfield Spartans 3.
Jason Holmes with a real nice play, short hopping the ball at third. But a little bit of a rhubarb there brewing. I believe the catcher for West Potomac, Simons, thought that the ball hit Moore's bat. Moore got the base on balls, and it really didn't matter anyhow because they got the third out there at first. Coach Welch, what can we expect from the Saxons next year?
I think we're going to be strong again. Like I said earlier, we had some good young players. The nucleus of our team was young this year, even though we are losing a lot of strong seniors for us. I feel like we do have some good young players coming back. Our shortstop, our couple of pitchers that we talked about, Billy Hyler, Adam Calderon, like I said, our shortstop, Luis Geraldo, a couple other infield positions. We have a real strong outfielder in David Ritchie, who's also an excellent football player over there at Langley. He's coming back. He led us in home runs this year. So we have a real good group coming back. But the best part for us is our pitching coming back. We have, because of Robbie being hurt and not able to throw, and we turned Joey Keogh, who's always been a big player for us, we turned him into a reliever, so it's not like we lose him as a starter. But I'm looking forward to next year. The only bad thing is that it's so far away. When you're sitting on this side of the fence at this time of year, it's a little tough to think how long you have to wait before you get started again. But I'm certainly looking forward to it, and I know that our kids are too.
When do you get started, Coach? What month? I mean, like after Christmas, Thanksgiving? I mean, how?
Well, in the high school level now, to keep competitive, it's basically a year-round thing, because once they leave us, then they go to start playing Legion ball, and unless they're playing football, they're playing fall baseball, and then from that point they're in the weight room, or they're going to, one of the winter clinics or something like that. So it's basically a year-round thing. We start the very end of February, 1st of March, something like that.
Tellis stretching out. Kevin Simons, nice hit. Just out of the reach of the third baseman. Mr. Charles Tellis over there made a fine try for that jack. Was not able to make the play. And the right fielder for West Potomac will come up to make the play, Mike Willits.
Okay,
and
go ahead,
Kevin
Coach.
Simons on first base.
But it is. I mean, you get these kids involved in the summer leagues, and then in the fall they start playing as well. And
you almost have to now at this point to stay competitive year in and year out. You have to do things like that, because if not, you're just going to get passed by, and then you start ending up with mediocre seasons and that type of thing. So, again, like I said earlier, that for us to stay competitive, the kids have to work hard, and they're willing to make that commitment to the program, and that's why we're able to win and be competitive from year to year, because the players are able to make that commitment. It really doesn't have a lot to do with the coaches and all that other stuff. I mean, it's the players, the ones that are working hard and willing to give up their time, and that's the big difference.
thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Chuck Welch of the
Thanks,
Langley
Coach.
Saxons.
All right, well, thanks a lot for having me.
Sure, Chuck. Thank you, and good luck to the Langley Saxons next year.
All righty,
care.
thank you.
Up to bat is Matt Shannon, the ace pitcher of the West Springfield squad. However, playing center field tonight because he had just pitched on Wednesday. The rule is 10 consecutive innings is the most you can pitch in high school baseball. Dobson's still doing a fine job on the mound for West Potomac. And West Potomac right now defensively keeping the Spartans off the board. Well, partially off the board. Only 3 runs for West Springfield. And the West Potomac Wolverines have managed to produce 8 runs. And that, of course, means the Wolverines are in the lead.
And that's right. And a lot of it, what you're saying, is true, Lee. Production. They produced a lot of the go-ahead runs there in the inning where 3 consecutive wild pitches, and actually they were catchable balls, led to 3 runs for the Spartans.
This time Dobson tosses one across the plate, and everybody thinks now the count is 3-2, full count for Dobson. Matt Shannon gave Dobson kind of a dirty look earlier in the innings when he pitched a high inside one to him as he ran down the first base line. And this time Dobson screams one over to right corner. Shannon goes for it. That's the first out of the inning.
That's the hat trick for Max Shannon.
Yes.
Shannon and Ross Bly, both have struck out 3 times against this little guy here, Scott Dobson.
Ryan Durishan now up to the plate to bat for West Springfield. Oh, just a little bit high, I think, there. Dobson putting it in.
Jesse Stacy moving that glove around here. And the West Springfield Spartans, certainly I would think, the favored ball club in this group.
Indeed.
2 more outs to their name.
We got a man on first base. West Springfield, that is, does.
From warm-ups, this guy Dobson, though, was serious. I mean, he has not cracked a smile the entire game. He has been intense.
Another hit batter. And not happy about that at all. I don't think I'd be too happy catching a nice fast pitch right in my back.
Well, I think where Durishan caught it was in the back or somewhere in the hip. And if you're going to get hit, that's the place you want to get hit, right there. Yeah. Durishan did a nice job to get his hands inside. They always tell you to turn your back towards the ball and get your elbows in. Here we see it. Durishan took that left elbow and put it in.
Right in the upper part of the gluteus maximus, you might say. That's a little more padding there than the rest of your body.
Exactly.
And Kevin Simons will tell you a little bit more padding than up there in the skull area.
I haven't seen somebody stunned like Simons was in the first inning for a long time.
No, you're right. At least since we saw Devereaux take one right in the jaw in the big leagues earlier this year.
That's a different story.
Yes, indeed.
Brandon Fleck now, the designated hitter.
Dobson tails one down and just outside.
But still no action in the West Potomac bullpen.
I think Henry's very happy with what Dobson's doing for him. And I don't think you'll see anything until these guys start. I think what the West Springfield batters, as you alluded to earlier, hopefully, at least as far as Coach Tugwell's concerned, might get some of the timing down on Dobson's pitches and start cracking some base hits and maybe a couple over the fence. I don't think you'll see Henry do make any changes, Jack.
No, not at this point. They say it's 2 schools once again of thought. You don't want somebody warming in the pen because the kid out in the mound, you don't want to ruin his concentration.
Right.
Maybe a bad luck type thing. You're saying, you're inviting things, but at the same time, you want to be able to get these kids warm if he does run into trouble. Because as Chuck Welsh and Tom Verbanek and Jamie Stalin have all said tonight, West Springfield can score some runs in a hurry.
That's right. I tell you, Jamie Stalin alluded to it the best of all of them, though. They're up by 7 and lost 12-7.
5 years ago, he had that game ingrained in his memory.
Dobson, once again, stone-faced Scott Dobson takes a look, release the pitch, and a very nice pitch, strike right over the plate. I don't think there's any question. Brandon Fleck not happy, not with the call, but that he didn't take a swing at that ball.
Yeah, he kind of froze at the plate. And this guy Dobson is, Mike Henry has just got to be real pleased. Everybody in West Potomac High School has to be real pleased with the job this guy has done tonight.
Starting pitcher is up to bat for West Springfield. McCullers started, got in 4 innings, and then was replaced by Connors, who's done a fine job. It's 0-1 count. 0-2. Scott Dobson in charge of McCullers right now. 2 outs for West Potomac. 2 strikes for Dobson. No balls. Let's see about Dobson release. Low. But over the plate, Dobson's control. He lost a little bit there when he hit. Who did he hit? Yeah.
He hit Brian Durishan. He also hit Kevin Simons.
Yes. No, Simons walked. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the ball game. West Potomac, with a fine job by Scott Dobson, wins this game 8-3. As the players you see here on the screen from West Potomac just basically smother Scott Dobson. Northern Region champ. Scott Dobson doing a fine job.
All righty. And there you see the final score this evening from the Gunston District. The Gunston District champion West Potomac Wolverines upsetting the favored West Springfield Spartans out of the Northern District. And there you see the player of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, on the bottom of that pile, lost everything, lost his hat. Number 9, pitcher Scott Dobson. Dobson was just outstanding the entire night. Lee
lost control a couple of times, but other than that, he really, on the whole, 90% of his pitches were right there, down, and on the right side of the plate, and across the plate for strikes. He was pitching strikes most of the time.
Dobson was very intense, and I think as Welsh said, the coach from Langley, didn't see a lot of off-speed stuff from Scott Dobson. But when Dobson threw a strike, he was low in the strike zone.
That's right.
He moved the ball around, right? He threw it high and tight up underneath the chin sometimes. He threw it away from the kids, way outside. Never really slowed down, and there we see him finally crack a smile. Scott Dobson, intense the entire ball game. Had a little trouble with his control early, but nonetheless, just I think he was getting stronger as the game went on, and was low in the strike zone. Nothing belt high, nothing up in his shoulders, where the West Springfield players could extend their arms.
I think I've given him a good nickname, Jack. Stone-faced Scott Dobson. If he ever has aspirations to play, get into the minors, and maybe one day play the show.
Stone-faced Dobson.
Stone-faced Dobson, that's right.
That's it.
And just remember, everybody, I started that nickname, okay?
There you see the West Potomac players. Guy closest to us is Bobby Wilner. Of course, West Potomac rode Bobby Wilner's arm. 11-1 on the year. This guy Dobson, though, what a 1-2 punch for West Potomac as they advance further to the state playoffs. And I do believe they play the winner of the Northwestern District, and that is Hylton and Franklin County. And there you see the rest of the West Potomac Wolverines. As we mentioned, the Bass brothers there in the back, some big guys. Willett, Moore, football playing coach, and Pat Lang of Fairfax High School.
Number 3.
Giving out the award to West Springfield.
Coach Mike Henry catching some, and then they're throwing ice at him afterwards. I've never seen that before. I've seen him dump the pail out. I've never seen the guys pick up ice cubes. They're throwing them at him.
Coach Mike Henry was an assistant at Langley High School with Chuck Welsh. And as we mentioned, Mike Henry seemed to be the loosest guy out there this entire baseball game.
You mentioned Pat Dye. He has done a tremendous job being the host. Being the host of the Northern Region Championship game here at Fairfax.
Number 10, Brian.
West Springfield. I think they're happy to get this, but you know,
Number 11.
This is one of those down the roads. We were second in the Northern Region, and they'll be happy about that. Tonight, not so excited that they're second place. They don't like, you never like to lose. But I think these little trophies, they'll get a good prominent place in the room. Second place Northern Region championship game. That's a fine job. West Springfield is really. How many games have they won? Do you have that stat on the top of your head, Jay?
Right, they were 19-5 coming in.
No, I mean in their 8 in a row they've been to the Northern Region championship. Do you know how many of them they've cranked out?
Oh, as far as the Northern Region, let's see here. They won.
As you smoke
I think it's
pouring
like
out of your
90
ears.
through 92. The 90, 91, and 92, I do believe. Yeah, they won 3 straight from 90 through 92.
Okay.
So last year, Lake Braddock beat West Springfield in the final. And of course, this year, West Springfield was defeated by West Potomac.
Number 20, Brad Cullen.
And you see the West Springfield Spartans certainly not happy, but
Number 21.
this is not the sudden death part of the tournament. These guys will go on and play in the 8-team Virginia State tournament.
22, Brendan McCullers.
And naturally, they would like to go there as winners, but Scott Dobson was just too overwhelming with people.
Well, we know West. I think that's the key, Jack. I think they came across a picture. They never got a hold of what he was throwing at them. They couldn't. I mean, West Springfield could come away with the state championship. What you're telling me, right? They could come away with the state championship. That is not at all too far-fetched for the Spartan Ball Club.
Right, and it's been done before. Woodson did it when Woodson and West Springfield came from. West Springfield won regionals, and Woodson came back and won the state.
Dave Harris. Ben Minos.
I know you see the assistant coaches
John Kent.
coming out to accept the runner-up trophy.
Most of these assistant coaches, I know some of the other clubs around the area are volunteer. You know, just like the Babe Ruth leagues around the area. These guys are not necessarily even dads, but enjoy getting out there and coaching these young players. And as far as the West Springfield assistant coaches and West Potomac, done a fine job.
1994 Northern Region champions.
Here they are.
There you see the captains for the West Springfield Spartans. Kevin Simons, I believe, and Ryan Durison.
Sean McNamara taking his trophy. These guys are happy.
Those are medals, man. You put those medals on your letter jacket as you walk down the hall.
And Billy Beal forgetting to come over and get his trophy.
He does.